He's not an idiot. He's just Swedish.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's finally Friday. Casual stream. End of the work week. Most of us have put our pencils and notebooks and laptops and iPads and yeah, everything's. We survived. Oh, it's a good day today, and for that. That glorious sound. And Jingles is by my feet, ready to attack me. Hi, Teresa Meyer, and hi, Janitals. What was it? Jingles. Here. Up. Yeah. He does not care, Jingles. Well, it's Friday, and today is freedom of speech press. He's attacking my share. Yeah. And soon my feet, I suppose. Yeah, today, casual talk, or as casual as you can be, talking about freedom of speech, freedom of press, from Charlie Hegbo to Marion County Record. And, well, let's start with saying hi to someone. Hi, MG Law.
Hey, how's it going?
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm driving home from the office, so I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, thank you for showing up. So
yeah, I would have on your stream, the trial earlier, but YouTube was buffering like crazy at the beginning, and then I was just in and out of, signal was just, I didn't trust it.
Yeah, I had issues during my stream. Ow, Jesus Christ. I had issues throughout the stream with YouTube buffering through StreamYard. I'm not sure if it might be StreamYard becoming way too popular and not having enough power. It might be that. My cat is dangerously close to my feet with claws out.
Oh yeah, mine will.
Jeez.
If I throw him down enough, he'll start to stalk me.
Mm. Well, just as a discussion starter, freedom of speech, freedom of press, on the scale from absolutist to not, where do you stand?
Pretty much absolutist.
Okay.
I
Are there
mean,
any
unless you pose an actual imminent threat to someone, you should be free to say it. Now, there may be other consequences, but
yeah,
such as defamation, things like that. You can say what you want, but there may be consequences to it. But you certainly shouldn't be jailed over it.
Yeah, freedom of speech is almost always between you and the government.
Yes.
It's rarely between you and another person. Now, you can tell somebody, I think you are this and that, who does this and that to this and that. And he or she will punch your lights out, and they will get the consequences for that. But this is, so to speak, between person and government. How do you feel if I insert the word intent to it?
In what way? Like,
I'm very glad you asked that. For instance, have you heard about the Quran burnings in Sweden?
Yes.
Yeah. And the Quran burnings in Sweden, now freedom of expression, freedom of speech, the government can't do much about it. But here's one of the things, for instance, if you take Charlie Hebdo, this is still a French satire newspaper who swings wildly at all directions. About a decade ago, they published something with a certain Islamic prophet depicted with interesting depictions. Now, their intent is to make fun out of everybody in the worst way possible. Now, with the Quran burnings, the three main characters who are doing the burnings, two of them are paid to do it by right-wing extremists. One of these are related to a government party called the Sweden Democrats. And so here the intent is to piss people, a certain segment of people off. Now, had the intent been to, I will piss them off, they will chase after me. I don't care. Good luck. Run. But now our terrorist threat level has been risen from moderate to high, which means innocent people might bear the consequences for these three people's intent. So where do we stand there? It's still freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but with the add-on of intent that it may cause harm, because as I see it, what do you call it?
But they're not the ones. They're not the ones causing the harm.
No, exactly.
You have the group that the terrorists are the ones who are acting on the words. And and one thing I like is that you can't have images of a certain prophet because it's considered idolizing, but they're so protective of it, they are essentially idolizing that prophet. So it's hypocritical of them to get mad over a depiction of him when their actions about that are essentially an idolization of it in and of itself.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just pushing in the word intent because I want to see the reaction because I agree in principle, but what is the government does not have freedom of speech, freedom of expression. One of their goals is to maintain freedom of speech between them and the government, between the individual and the government, to maintain that. But when you insert the possibility of it's a poking the bear and pointing the bear at another direction intent kind of way. In this case, the bear being Islamic extremist. Now, for instance, in Sweden, it's not just burning the Quran in a parking lot somewhere. They are expressively doing it in front of mosques. And at what point does the government have to give you that room?
Yeah.
And
I mean, here you have time, place, and manner, rules that the government can place on to restrict speech to certain times, places, and manners in public areas. And I would, say that, on the street in front of a mosque is a public area, and they probably could restrict that to an extent, move it down the street some.
Now in Sweden, you can't do that. It is public space is public space no matter where it is. At the same time, the police can move an event or an action if there is risk for public nuisance, public disturbance of sorts. But they always keep very, very calm, so they can't really use that. They're just in front of a mosque, pouring gasoline, lighting it on fire. So it's very calculated, and in there, still we come to the intent and what is the government's role in protecting the rest. Now, for me, I'm not an absolutist.
I got a call.
Yeah, okay. I will keep talking. For me, I'm not an absolutist. For me, when the entirety of the intent is for instance, you in the United States believe you have national socialists in your country. No, you don't. I've been looking around a bit, and no, you don't. In a few countries in the European Union, we have actual people who believe in the original National Socialism. And these people do commit murders, terrorist acts, and they train each other in doing this, which is very similar to other extremist groups. So when now these are the extremist groups, for instance, let's say Christian or Islamic or whatever Abraham religion you confess to, there are more in some, less in some extremists that are ready to kill. In National Socialism, the very goal is genocide. So is it still free speech when everything about that ism is genocide? It's the ultimate goal. For me, it is a constant threat of actual genocide. And there for me, there is where I draw the line. When the entirety of an ism is about genocide. There is at least where I draw my line. So I don't really care if an actual National Socialist is the this and the this and the this and yeah. And no, I don't care about their supposed freedom of speech. Because when it is a constant threat of it, I'm having a hard time translating this. It is a preparation of murder, an actual constant preparation of murder. There I draw my line, because that is my definition. Not the American National Socialist, the diaper Nazis, actual Nazis that we have over here. But here we have another freedom of speech absolutist, Hi, Valhalla.
What's up, buddy? How we doing?
I'm doing good. I've had a great 1 hour nap.
Outstanding.
And I had a bit to eat. And Brandon is in the chat.
I saw that.
Yeah. And for those who doesn't know, this is streamed on Rumble. And the Rumble link is on the top of the chat. Because we are talking about things that might piss YouTube off. Because we are touching lines here.
Well, I'll try to refrain a little bit on my thoughts on some of this stuff. But
yeah.
As far as speech goes, I don't think there should be a limit to speech, aside from like a direct threat, just like MG was saying.
And
I was waiting. There was no more Cash App happening. I was waiting.
Yeah, but for me, we have a difference between an individual and an individual who screams fire and an individual who wants to punch that guy out. Yeah, but when we are talking about, you have a lot of people in between, which might be a stretch for the Quran burnings, but it's still there. It's a bit of a stretch, but it's still there when the intent is to get another so angry they will hurt anyone. But that is also on the government role, that you should protect that one from these who wants to do that. But to what extent?
Well, how is that? So something that will get somebody mad enough to attack is a completely subjective thing to each individual, right?
Yeah.
So that for that to work across the board, you would literally have to ban all speech. Like if I say gray is a better color than brown, somebody may get offended enough that they would punch me in the face over that.
Yeah, you asshole.
Right.
Yeah, but here, this is me just brainstorming.
Sure.
The reaction to that is clearly criminal.
Agreed.
Should be punished to the most severe case of the law if you start to nuke innocent people because you didn't like what that guy said. Severe. But that guy who knows if you stir the wasp's nest enough, they will get a reaction. And the wasps they don't care who's close. So it's always that, because of course, as long as you're not saying I'm going to do this I'm going to do that to your significant other, that's an actual threat. That is beyond freedom of speech. Now,
Agreed.
There are some people out there, and I've met them, that no, that's also the reaction. No, you don't have the right to react. And these are stupid people, Twitter trolls, everything, because if you want an absolute freedom of speech, you can't also. I don't want you to argue with me, but then you're only concerned about your freedom of speech, not everybody's freedom of speech. So this is the things that goes around in my brain when nobody's watching. Welcome to my mind.
There's a caveat there, though, I think, because for example, you could say something that you're going to do to my wife, right? As a threat. That's not a real threat, though. You're not going to fly from Sweden, find me, find my wife, and perpetrate this thing, right? So there's nuance to it. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, but in the reaction of all of a sudden in a shopping mall, someone with wild eyes stands in front of your wife, fist held, I'm going to. That's a real threat. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and somewhere in between there, you have to draw the line. When does it become just trolling and to an actual threat? So there you have that distinction between where does free speech end and defamation threat begin. So you always have that. Where does you actually draw the line?
Right.
Yeah.
I think, and I wish I was a smart lawyer that would know this, but the Supreme Court cases have come out and they've outlined precisely what we deem a real threat. I don't know what the cases are or what the wording is, but I know they exist.
Yeah. I have no idea. I'm not American. So I don't know what the Supreme Court says. And but freedom of speech in Sweden is a bit more restrictive in some ways, but also more allowing in other ways. For instance, in Sweden, you don't actually have to apply to do one of these big demonstrations. It's a courtesy, so the cop can say, okay, we need to place out to keep a little bit of order. But also, you have to apply so that the cops can decide if you need security or not. So you have this catch-22. But you, according to our foundational law, you don't have to. It's not until you pass over that boundary between free speech, threat demonstration, starting to throw rocks, then they can move in.
That's the way it should be, I think.
Yeah.
But then also, otherwise you're getting into like thought crime and weird.
But then, what is the difference between throwing a rock through the window of a mosque and burning the Quran in front of it, if the result may be the same?
Well, one, so here's how I would equate that to like me personally. Burning the U.S. flag. A lot of vets have an issue with that, and I do have an issue with it. Don't get me wrong, but I absolutely think it should be legal. I believe it should be a right of anybody. If I go and I purchase a flag or a Quran, that's my property, and if I want to burn it, that's my prerogative.
Yeah, and as long as you sell underwear with the American flag on, you can't really say, "Don't desecrate my flag," because you fought in those underwear. Yeah. I mean.
I think that's actually so like that would actually be desecration of the flag. Like anytime you wear a U.S. flag on clothing, or if you have that print on clothing, that's desecration of the flag. Obviously, it's not the same.
No,
it's not the same thing, but it's nonetheless.
Or ball cap. And now, Sweden, we have a bit of different approach. Our flag does not represent freedom to us. It's a flag. It's blue and yellow, sun and sea. But we don't. So when it's so funny to see when all these Quran burnings, people in Islamic countries started to burn our flag, and it was like, so
welcome to the club.
We do that too. Now, if you had burned the IKEA catalog,
there you go.
Different issue.
Now we've got real problems, y'all. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Matt says your logic is assuming the Muslims seeing the burning Quran don't have agency. I'm not entirely sure what the meaning is here.
I think he's saying that the people that react to that the way they do obviously have to make that choice, and that would be the problem in that situation, not the burning of the book.
Yeah, and then we come back to the example about Charlie Hebdo. Their intent, they don't care if they piss anybody off. Now, a few of them paid the ultimate price in the bombing and shooting about a decade ago. They still publish material. And some of it, most people have only seen those pictures of the Prophet in different positions. But most of it is so distasteful because they don't even care about the border of freedom of speech, or the border of sanity, or the border of taste. They have depictions because the French freedom of speech laws is so vast, except if you're talking about the president. for some odd reason you can't insult the president of France. Which, yeah. So that
He's so easy to insult too.
Yeah, so it's so easy to insult. I mean, and so they have depictions of children doing stuff to other children. Oh, no, cartoons. Children doing things to children. Just because 8-10 years ago there was a big blowout about when is the age of consent in France, and Charlie Hebdo took it to the absolute limit. Just saying. And it was so distasteful. But it's still freedom of speech, because then it was a cartoon. Also, you have to distinguish cartoon from reality.
That's the right, because it's art, and art again can be subjective and offensive, and as gnarly and gross as I think that is. I don't think anybody should go to jail over drawing a picture.
No, and you have your own sort of example. It's the People versus Larry Finch. when he in text accused some politician or something to doing extremely heinous acts, but it's so far out that nobody will believe it. So why are you offended?
Right.
Yeah. And also then back to the Charlie Hebdo. You depicted him. Well, how do you know?
That's a good point.
Because he's never been depicted.
Just because you think
they
that's
never named the cartoon.
It's against their rules to depict the prophet.
So, in a way, it was in their disrespect, it was very respectful, because they never set a name to those specific cartoons. I'm enjoying this, but let's see how we can get along with this beautiful lady, who has she has a lot of words. If you heard, did you see David's stream earlier?
Some of them. I watched a couple of them.
Yeah. I will let Mo. Hi, Mo.
Hey, Mo.
People are particularly stupid, and I can't talk to any of them anymore. I was going to wear my dictum shirt, which says "Don't be a dictum." Basically, it's a victim that started it first, but it had a stain on it. So
I have to go get my nicotine pouches, so don't get me yeeted from YouTube. But other than
y'all
that,
were already talking about the sacred religion of peace. I don't know what the hell I can add to it. I mean, but allegedly my streams that I'm locking my children in the basement are nudie booby streams.
I've been missing those.
I was like, y'all, I told the woman, I said, pull up my streams right now.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
And she's like, well, it's alleged that you were locking them so you could do unclothed streams. I'm like, pull up my stream. And she said, oh, well, this isn't.
It's on YouTube, lady. Calm down.
I know.
Jesus Christ. People are so ridiculous.
The things that I do in this principal's mind, I mean.
Way more exciting than what I'm doing. I promise you that much.
I know. I'm just waiting for Mr. Mo to come home so I have a designated parent so I can crack open all the alcohol I bought today. I mean, allegedly.
So for those that don't know what happened, Mo, if you'd care to explain.
Oh, okay. So my middle son, look, he was wearing clothing and it was not stained or torn. So he went to school. Now, had the school been any sort of kind, they would have just called and said, hey, Gunnar is wearing the same damn shirt. Could you possibly tell him to, change as per like normal kids? They just wear stuff. But no, my principal decided to call CPS. After interrogating him and finding out that per her report to CPS, I locked them in the basement and heavily implied that I closed my door to take unclothed streams in which I can only God knows what I do with boobs that have been through 6 kids. But apparently, like magic tricks, I guess. I don't know. And then, send them to school with, shirts. So I will be moving them to a private school. And then I'm going scorched earth because I have, through the grapevine, through my lawyer friend, have found out that I will be the 3rd family that she has run out of the school with sort of these spurious CPS claims.
File
So
a lawsuit. So, and if you, I'm not going to lead any advice.
no, I will
imagine
just be...
imagine the grift. Because as soon as it's public,
oh yeah,
we can read it.
Oh yeah,
it's just it really seems it's going to be really, really sad that she's picking on a very poor, defenseless, disabled woman with a disabled veteran husband, single-handedly repopulating America.
Johnny Cochran is masturbating furiously right now to this thought. I mean, those, yeah.
Well,
you can
Ben
find
Crump
lawyers.
probably not, but I might be Ivory Lamar to my detriment. But
goodness.
Yeah, I mean, those circumstances can bring HOAs down. I mean,
yeah, it's
just say veteran, disabled. Oh crap!
Yeah, believe me, I am.
No disrespect, but that's effective.
Yeah, the thing is I will be gathering fact patterns and different things, and I've been given the name of local attorneys. And you've already seen the copious amount of notes I take on silly stuff. Imagine the copious amount of notes I take on normal stuff.
Something that's got you a little hot under the collar.
Never mess with a fake redhead who might be like semi-Scottish. We as Gavin McGinnis says, we have yet to forgive like anything. Semi-Scottish people will hold on to. Have you seen Highlander? Through many lives, he kept a grudge.
Let's just say that not even Danish or Swedish Vikings spread their DNA in Scotland. Only the Norwegians had the guts for it.
I'm telling you.
So you have Norwegian and Scottish DNA mixed. Yeah, that's a good combination.
Welcome, unicorn. Yeah, so that was my Friday. So, but on the plus side, I mean, it is all shenanigans and chicanery and ridiculous. There is a wonderful charter school, and in Indiana, the funding follows the kid. So all we have to do is, sign them up, and then the funding will follow them. So we don't have a fight like you would have in some other states. So
that's cool.
That's a bit of the system we have here in Sweden as well. You don't pay the school directly. The funding follows the student to the school.
So, I mean, it could be worse. And I have Mr. Mo taking their Chromebooks back because let's just say that I only cosplay as a Pentecostal because I have to wear these skirts for my leg. And the words that would come out of my mouth in a school office would be...
not very Pentecostal-y.
Let's see. It's only 30 minutes into your stream, and the amount of the C word that would come out of my mouth would be, the bleeping would never stop.
Don't mess with Mama Bear. Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Mama Bear, don't poke the bear.
Exactly.
But you can do, as in the Melly trial, they exchanged the first letter. So you can say mucking bunt. Apparently. And everybody
don't give me any ideas right now, allegedly in Minecraft with Legos.
Whoopsie.
We're clearly talking about Lego. 100%.
Yep.
Oh my, I am so jealous. Look, I need to start grifting. I need to, I really should have done shirtless streams. I would have had my Rivendell set by now.
That Rivendell set is awesome.
Oh, I know, but Mr. Mo's like $600. You are out of your goddamn mind.
It's pretty cool though.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but come on.
Mm.
But look how cool it is.
Yeah.
He's like,
I
you
mean-
don't have room for all the crap you already have. I'm like,
Mm.
but cool.
Yeah, I mean that's why I have a big house, a barn, and big containers. I kind of collect stuff. Collect is a very liberal use of that word.
Receive collections of for other people.
Yeah, because at my age, my older relatives, they die off, and I have room, and so it ends up here.
Yeah, we
After everybody else have the courtesy of removing anything of value.
That's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
That's how it usually goes.
Can you please
got
take care
these
of
statues
Granny's home?
Scott's mom.
Sure, leave it untouched, and I will take care of it. Drive up there, rent a lorry or something, open the door, and you see these beautiful marks where paintings used to be. I mean, what with leave it untouched was it that you didn't get? I mean, so I have a lot of brown furniture, and just waiting for it to get modern again.
Well, there you go. It'll swing in roundabouts. In about 5 years, it'll be the thing, because now all the Clueless stuff and Trapper Keepers are back.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. I saw a Lisa Frank or Liza Frank, I don't remember. The thing that looked like it vomited unicorns.
Sparkles and
Keeper.
glitter.
Yeah. All we needed was gel pens, and I'd feel like I was 12 again.
Yeah, but brown furniture, I mean, Scandinavian 70s. I mean, some of the utensils are being modern again. I mean, old-time whisks and stuff. But old-time furniture, like, let's have this veneer plywood brown stuff. Cheap. I don't know if that is coming back into fashion.
I hope
I
not.
hope not. Can we just have comfy stuff? Like, give me a lazy boy. I am the dad of the like. Give me a lazy boy recliner.
Mm.
You know, a side by side where we can hold hands, but you don't touch my side. Like, come on.
I know IKEA has this aluminum rocking chair type of thingy to use outdoors, and they were really sweet about calling it Gramps. And I have two of them. Of course.
Nicholas loves that chair, yo. He
Yeah.
loves it.
Nicholas is like, that's my chair.
It's out in the patio where I smoke my cigar and tell people to get off my lawn. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
You can have it. Kitchen.
For the record, I'll put it in private chat.
Oh.
Okay. Yep. But I think we have. If anyone wants to get back to the freedom of speech thingy, we can do that. But I kind of want to get into the Marion County Record and a bit of updates to that, because that's interesting. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Marion County Record. This is from the Daily Beast. The search warrant that led to raid of a local Kansas newspaper's office has been withdrawn amid national backlash, authorities said Wednesday. Yeah, here's the thing. That search warrant was issued by the police chief. Now, once he got it approved for some stupid reason, then they conducted the raid. Here's what happens next. He takes everything he has and puts it in the lap of the district attorney. The district attorney on Wednesday, when he got it in his lap, said, I don't want to have anything about this. So he just, nope, can't return everything. Because I was listening into Steve Leto's coverage of it, and he told a story about a Michigan newspaper in the early 1900s, where the police came in, arrested everybody, closed the paper down. Now he is widely known 100 years later as an absolute arse. That's his legacy.
What
So
was
if
the-
you're, it was about a mine, and the union paper wrote about the not the strikers, but those who try to go in and work instead of the strikers.
The scabs.
The scabs. So they put out an article about that and the bosses, and of course, boss called his friend in the police, who then went into an office and well, we have to go in, and for some reason somebody went into a huge meeting in a huge warehouse and screamed fire, and 50 people died. That person was later connected to, well, so everybody wrote about it, and they then struck down the paper for it, for some odd reason. Now that chief of police, you have to go watch Steve Leto's coverage of it, because I can't do it justice.
Fair.
And here's the thing, the legacy of when something stupid, because I believe this is the first time in 50 or 60 or 70 years it's in the United States it's ever happened.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but this little police chief, who allegedly, let's get back to this, who allegedly, there was a rumor that the paper was going to do a piece about him as well, since rumors said that the reason he left Kansas City Police Department was because of misconduct of a sexual nature.
Go figure.
Allegedly.
Uh-huh.
So all of a sudden you have that search warrant for the business owner, who didn't want it reported that she had a DUI and kept driving. You have a chief of police who didn't want them to write about him. So he writes out a search warrant, takes all their stuff. And then, here you go, district attorney, prosecute them. And the district attorney, no. This story is international. I don't want to be known as that guy.
Did the DA not know it was happening, or did he step back when it got big? Like, don't they have to fill out when they fill out the warrant and they go to the judge? Like, the DA doesn't have to know anything about it.
Not apparently not in Kansas. The police chief can go directly to the judge, but the person prosecuting, he then has to he will have the case in his hands. So they don't have to. Now, had the police chief spoken to the DA before, that DA could have said, hell no, stop it. So apparently this police chief didn't want to risk that, so he went directly to the judge.
Well, then that seems like gross misconduct, and you would yeet him.
And here's the thing, the week before, a reporter from the paper was yeeted from that business owner's restaurant, where they held a political meeting for the congressman, LaVey, whatever he's called. I don't care. It seems like he is an innocent party of this. In that meeting, attending, chief of police, the judge who signed it, and that business owner who threw out the reporter.
Bunch of good old boy system going on down there.
Small town corruption.
Yeah.
And apparently a town of 2,000 people, they might have thought nobody will ever know about this. It's our town. We are big fish in a little pond. and now it's written about in The Guardian, The Daily Beast, and different YouTubers from Sweden, and covering it. So it's an international story. I don't take the I do. I take
All the credit.
all the credit for being international. Yeah, so the DA really doesn't want anything to do with it, and now, of course, the paper has been lawyered up, and now when they are getting their stuff back, they are sending it off to one of these forensic labs. Has anything been touched? And if it has, that lawsuit,
That's gonna be huge.
yeah. And
Yeah.
speaking
up,
about
Kaiser?
huge,
How you doing?
Hi, Kaiser. Good to
How
see
you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Yeah. Oh. We have been talking
curious-
so far.
Sorry.
No, go on.
I'm curious what the warrant looks like. I'm curious what that judge signed.
Yeah,
exactly.
I need to.
Okay.
I would
Like,
like to get my
They
hands
were
on
on
mean
that.
to us.
Right.
I will find it, and you three talk for a bit.
Okie dokie.
Well, Kaiser, what's up, man?
Not much. I say just got done with dinner and whatnot. Had the in-laws over, so
Woo.
Nice.
they're all in there taking care of the kids. So I get a little bit of a time to jump over.
Sneak away.
Yeah, you know, dad life.
Oh, the kid just had something going, right?
Yeah, he had surgery yesterday.
Doing okay?
Yeah, he's doing great. And say had tubes in, had his adenoids out, and
That's
so
what I thought.
Oh, I'm glad he's doing
Yeah.
well.
oh my gosh, I say kid's doing surprisingly good. We thought we were going to have to, we had all the plans, we had packed everything. We were already convinced we were going to stay overnight. And within like half an hour after he was out of recovery, they were like, actually, he's good to go home. So, you know, if y'all want to just go ahead and sign the paperwork, take off, and say, you guys are good. We're like, okay. So I had some extra time yesterday and whatnot. So it was great.
Let's see here.
Other than that, just because, because I thought I was going to be chasing down hospital stuff today, I actually got a chance to go outside and, did some gardening, got the front beds all dug up, got the old trees out, putting some new raised garden beds in. It's really looking nice.
Heck yeah.
I feel productive. This is weird.
I know when you get stuff done and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually a functional adult. I feel all proud of
I know.
myself.
I know. I
And
actually,
then another day you just lay on the couch and you're like, well,
I actually did. Is like got more posters up on my movie wall yesterday too because of the extra time I had. So
I need to go through and redo my shelf over there.
yeah, I need to deal with the chaos of my back wall, but
I got to build a stand for this turtle tank too still.
oh, that's gonna be cool.
It will be, but it's going to be a pain in the butt.
Okay, here it is. 8th Judicial District of Marion County, Kansas. Blah, 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 blah. Search warrant. State of Kansas 2. Chief Gideon Cody, Marion Police Department, or any peace officer of the state of Kansas having evidence under oath before me from which I find there is probable cause to believe that an offense has against the laws of the state of Kansas, including but not limited to violations of identity theft, unlawful acts concerning computers. That's not vague at all. To wit, forensically process and analyze in a controlled setting all listed electronic media for the purpose of viewing or retrieving digital communication devices, phones.
so are they looking for a CP? I mean, that sounds like a CP look.
No, what the woman, the business owner, alleged that they looked up her in on a site they weren't supposed to have access to. Here's the thing.
So Ashley
Yeah.
Madison.
Yes, here's the thing. Her DUI, arrest, and conviction is public record.
But they're
And so
claiming that they looked her up on like a official government site or something that they didn't have access to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they had to have stolen somebody's ID to get to the login verification, and then. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing: they got tipped off about this DUI. They decided to not run with the story at all. They went to the police and said, "We have had information about this happening. Here you go. Now it's yours." They didn't even write about it. And they still, a week later, boom, search warrant and took all the stuff. They weren't even going to write about it because it wasn't newsworthy, and the tip they got was probably from the businesswoman's ex-husband, who she is in custody battle with. So they thought, we're not going to write about that. But
I'm not getting involved in your separation court nonsense.
Oh,
Get away from me.
This needs to be a Lifetime movie.
It will be. Give it 2 weeks.
Or a Netflix movie.
Yeah, so this is, and here's the thing, what is this part? Having evidence under oath before me from which I found there is probable cause.
Yeah, where?
And here's the thing, that affidavit wasn't submitted until Wednesday when they brought it over to the district attorney. So nobody knew what was in it, what his testimony actually was. And they are trying to get it released, and they get a no. Since they revoked the search warrant, that one is under seal. I mean, but here's the thing, the damage is... the DA did the right thing. Just, oh no, I'm not touching this. But the damage is already done.
Right.
They did the right... And here's the thing. The co-owner or co-publisher, who was 98 years old, they raided her home. Made her sit and watch them go through all her stuff, taking her computer, taking her Siri, a Siri she used both for the TV but also as an aid when she needed help. The next day, she died of a heart attack.
Well, that's unfortunate timing.
Yeah. Now, you can, if this ever goes to in front of a judge, which probably won't be the one who signed this warrant, they will have to argue it was unrelated. Now, which could be interesting. But imagine this. If this ever gets to a jury. Yeah.
Okay, asking for a friend, but can we bring back tar and feathering? Because I am kind of done. Like, okay, not...
Big fan.
Okay, pillaring. I'm just saying throwing tomatoes.
Public punishment.
Public shaming is good, okay? I am an absolute jackass, placard on the side of the road. The sheriff will be done. I am done with people being absolute jackasses. I know David said that you cannot charge people for being jackasses, but you can shame them. Bring back shame. I'm done with it.
The stockades work perfectly fine for a very long time. I think it might be good to bring them back.
You know what? Yes, I am done. The little tiny chick who was trying to do a flash mob, dance mob in Target, stockades, just all of them. I'm done.
Yeah, and
I'm not on board with the stockade bandwagon, but I get your point.
Okay, fine. Placards. I'm a jackass, whiny baby.
Just mock them mercilessly. That's all you got to do. Laugh at them and mock them mercilessly.
You put them in an ISO cube in a... Okay, here's how we fix the national debt.
Modernize the stockade.
National park. You put them in ISO cubes for a set time limit, depending upon their crime. They have to deal with chat. Depending on how much you spend on chat, you can add glitter bombs or something. Then you have a shame stream with them, and then, for 10 minutes they have to sit in there and deal with internet shame, and you're done. And then your crime against humanity is done, and I'm okay with it.
Well, in this case, no, they did everything in this went wrong because there are federal procedures to take when you're trying to get information from a newspaper. You have to subpoena it. It has to go in front of a judge. The judge has to decide, is this information the other part has the right to know? And he can say, yes, you have a right to know. What's your reply? I don't care. Will the reporter or the publisher say, okay, I'm going to send you to jail. I don't care. I will not reveal my sources. That's the proper way.
That was a big thing years ago here. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, you have plenty
Woodward
of people.
and Bernstein, I believe.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. You also have whatever you call him or her, Manning, who didn't want to reveal how everything went down a decade ago. And she, let's just give her that, stayed in jail for years. 2 years? Before they had to release her.
Still gone.
But Snowden is now in Russia, so
And
I
then
don't care.
who is oh god,
well,
what's
so he
his name?
says anyway.
Yeah, so he says. You have Julian Assange.
Assange.
Yeah.
Which if Trump doesn't pardon him, I'm about done with.
He should have done that the first time. He should have done it the first time.
Y'all, I'm revealing who I'm voting for right now on stream. It's Giant Meteor and for Vice President Black Plague, 2024.
I would have Jingles for president.
Jingles, there you go.
Yep.
Jingles for president, Black Plague for vice president.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I'm pretty convinced that a stump or a rock would be a better ticket than any politician right now.
Okay, so we've got Jingles and Thor, because Thor likes to sniff hair, so he's kind of akin to what we already have.
Yeah,
and Jingles is
Thor
aggressive
for president. Jingles and Thor 2024.
It's mimetic. It's fun. Awesome.
And I mean, now I'm an outsider looking in, but seriously, you're choosing between senile and orange. I mean, no, I don't know enough about Trump other than apparently he's now being indicted by the same district attorney that is trying to get the RICO trial on Young Thug, which is the trial I'm actually covering, and that is a cluster F on its own. If you've seen any of my coverage of those Daubert hearings, where they wanted to have a pick and zoom guy as an expert in forensic video analysis.
It's not his fault that he didn't. Yeah. He's been there since the telegraph. He's very.
He started out with Morse code. I mean,
Alexander Graham Bell taught him himself.
They were friends.
But it was so ridiculous. I mean, this guy on the stand explained how he did his forensic analysis.
Hey, I made my first meme yesterday. I was so proud of him. You guys were making fun of him, and that would have been me like, no, you guys don't understand. I pinch to zoom. I'd have been so proud of him. And you'd have been like, so what exactly are you doing?
Yeah.
So pinch to zoom.
Yeah. So he stopped the video. He took a screenshot, took that screenshot into Photoshop, and whatever they wanted enhance, he pinched and zoomed. That was the entirety of his job.
You know, everyone has to have a special talent.
And he's been
Maybe he was really good at film.
Decades.
Look, he did a great job on the Zapruder film, okay?
He's making way more money than any of us.
Yeah, probably.
That Kennedy snuff film, he did an awesome job, all right?
Oh,
It was the Marilyn Monroe one he screwed up. That's why he's down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and eventually the judge said, well, he can't be an expert in video analysis, so he's an expert in video enhancement.
You
So he
know,
was still let in as an expert. And that's the level of Georgia RICO. So again, if that's the level of, because that expert will now go up in front of a jury and testify as an expert, which Georgia juror, oh, he's an expert, we will believe him. Now, with that in mind,
well,
how much of a chance would Trump have when they can bring on that level of experts to testify? I mean,
I don't think anybody. I don't know. I personally.
I mean, they're convicting his lawyers for doing lawyery things. I somehow
Right.
thought lawyers were unconvictable for lawyery things. I don't, as a non-lawyer,
yeah.
you know, pre-lawyer,
Mm.
I had no idea you could be convicted for lawyering.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like they're trying to convict these people for doing their job, which was
They'll end up-
being his lawyers.
They'll end up getting a guilty verdict, and then by the time it gets to appeals, which will happen very quickly, right after the elections, then it'll all go away.
Yeah,
Y'all,
and
I am telling you, regardless of political affiliation, if you put that man's mugshot up, he will sell a bajillion and 12 t-shirts.
That image
That
is going
is-
to be the most published picture in the 2020s if they arrest him. That mugshot.
You think
Yeah.
you think
Everywhere.
Kekistan and the Pepe the Frog meme was bad? The meme wars of 2016 will look like ridiculousness compared to the chicanery that's going to come and the shitpostery.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if
And
they
the-
Now
put
I
his
won't be
mugshot-
doing any of it, but I will be giggling in the background.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If
And
they,
the-
if they put
Georgia
his
Re-
mugshot on the newspaper, and I mean they still make newspapers, buy one because it'll be like literally worth like a couple grand in a few years.
yeah.
Now I
And-
will be selling Nancy Pelosi body pillows on my merch shop for any
Stuffing
weirdo
those
that
with
wants them.
cottage cheese and bad
Can you put
dreams.
right? Can you put a worse image on a pillow? Like I don't want to touch that thing. That's
I mean,
disgusting.
I have like 6-year-old
No,
pillows that can
Her
be
boobs
used.
are 40 years old. The rest of her is 800. But those boobs, the guy did a good job. I'm just saying.
Oh.
He did a good job 40 years ago. That's the problem, though.
No, those boobs are from a 40-year-old from now.
Oh.
I don't know where he got them from. We need to check obituaries and or missing persons.
Yeah, but,
But-
it's like Ron White say,
Allegedly.
you can go with a woman into one of these surgeons and say, I want those boobies, that ass on that woman. And they
Make
can do it. Yeah, they can make it happen. And the only thing you can't do is you can't cure stupid. So,
Never.
yeah.
Never. You're stuck with stupid.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kat, for leaving that cough up just where I am
Gross.
normally having my feet.
Cats are horrible, y'all.
Yeah, but
Trust me, I
yes,
know. I have 4 of them.
I
got
have
six.
I
got
have
six.
5, and I'm looking at a puppy, an emotional support puppy, since I can't have an emotional support beverage all the time. Apparently, that's what you call alcoholism.
yeah. Yesterday, midstream, my dear Jingles brought in a mice from outdoors, which he played with.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and then killed
Kaiser.
right here. Yeah.
We're gonna have to get together and do movie talk because this new Snow White chick is about to make me repeal the 19th Amendment and put us all back in the kitchen.
But if you two watch it, then they get twice as large audience for it.
Have you seen some of my coverage lately?
I'm
She's
trying to keep
horrible.
up with everyone. Oddly enough, you know, sitting in front of a camera and
exactly.
running my mouth looks easy, but I actually have to like do stuff, which is odd because you think that it would be easy to just mouth off in front of the camera.
You
If
know
you're me.
who's loving
Yeah.
every bit of this? You know who's making out like a bandit right now with this Snow White chick? With Rachel Zegler or whatever the hell her name is?
Yeah, it's
Brie
Rachel Zegler.
Larson. Brie
Yeah.
Larson is loving her life for the first time since she got rich.
Because her weird feet are no longer the topic of conversation because her mutant weird feet are out of the picture.
Yep.
Brie
She's no
Larson's
longer
just
being
sitting in the background going, "Oh, thank God."
until the Marvels come out and you're like, holy shit, what is this crap on a stick?
Oh, I love how the fact that a couple months ago, I it was just earlier this month maybe, where they were talking about like there was some controversy over whether Dune was going to, or like the Marvels was going to get any IMAX play And they said,
Oh,
no,
dear Jesus,
we're
no.
going to actually reserve all IMAX for Dune Part 2 because we want this to make money. They literally came out and said, like, the IMAX, like, you know, group of people came out and said, no, because if we put the Marvels in, we won't make a dime. If we put Dune in there, it'll be sold out shows for weeks. It's like
Yeah, Mr. Mo
Oppenheimer.
wants to see it as long as it's not 3D because the 3D IMAX makes me dizzy.
Yeah.
I just need to I need to watch internet videos to figure out what the hell Dune is about because I'm like I'm not reading a 700-page book, sir.
Get the audiobooks. Way easier.
Are
Yeah.
there smexy times? Because I don't read audiobooks. I don't listen to audiobooks unless there's smexy times.
It's been so long since I read them, I don't remember.
Kaiser's like, I don't believe there's any leather or St. Andrew's crosses. There's a no.
No.
Well, I'll be watching the Cliff Notes on YouTube. Sorry, Mo's gonna get a little drunk today. Mo's had an ass of a day, so I'm sorry. This is a first time meeting, but I'm gonna be a little bit drunkish.
Yep. No worries.
Hey, it's after 5 o'clock here, so, you know,
Mm.
get stinko.
And it's moving in on 1 a.m. here, and it's Friday, so yeah. And we are over 1 hour in. So
Awesome.
yeah. I didn't even today on this stream. I didn't even get through the intro. You know that one stream is starting soon. Before I got no, you're not ad eligible.
Oh my Jesus! Why?
Yeah.
I didn't even talk this time. It wasn't
No.
even me. I would like to say.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I have started the Rumble. And by the way, I'm on Rumble now as well. Hi, the one person is watching there.
Yeah, I've got to figure out how to
Love
do
that.
Rumble and
Yeah.
YouTube at the same time and not cross streams and
Mm.
make a nexus in time and all that other crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. These
And,
days I'm running streams. I can run 3. I do YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble. So yeah.
Did you see
Okay.
the quartering that if you try to promote your stream on Twitter, they deboost it?
I didn't see it about the promotion thing, but yeah.
Or you link your stream in Twitter and then they deboost it? Or something like that. Look, watch Jeremy's stream.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go check
Because
that out.
No, I haven't seen
it's
that.
all about computery stuff, so I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Hi, Dirk. That sounds like a great idea.
It's a lovely, lovely idea.
Mm.
Booze is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great.
I mean,
I'm an
beer,
ethanol enthusiast. I like to always
whiskey.
tell folks I'm an ethanol enthusiast.
You know, we should always have an emotional support beverage.
Yeah, I'm in with that. And I was asked last Friday, do you have an alcohol problem? No, I never run out of alcohol.
You know what? So I went to my local booze store and they didn't have the long finish drink or the
Okay.
because they're asses.
Yeah.
Apparently we don't have a refined palate down in, Martinsville, Indiana. Shocking.
Wait, what? Where did you just say?
Martinsville?
Is that where? I'm sorry, because that's very close to me.
Well, that's where I am.
Oh,
You're basically
meet up.
neighbors?
We're going to B-dubs next week.
okay.
Meet up with Kaiser and Mo.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I was like, holy moly, because that means that you're dangerously close to where I'm from.
Well, we don't shout about it. Let's be
I know.
honest.
I get it.
But the Hillbilly Day Pass I do have. I mean, I can't go to Geist or anything or Fisher's or Carmel without a But
It's okay. They let me in eventually.
well, I mean, I have to clean up a little bit, but We're talking about more upper echelon places. We would be from like the hills and hollers of Indiana, the sort of places that no one goes unless there's a banjo and a small child with no shirt on. That's usually my kid.
If there is not a truck on blocks in your front yard, then you are not in the right neighborhood.
No, I mean, we are okay. So I am in the only
Hi, Chandler.
neighborhood that has a stick up its ass in
Hi.
rural Indiana.
Yeah.
Hey, Kaiser. How's it going?
Good, good, good. Say,
Hello again to
getting to
Valhalla.
meet my getting to meet my new friend.
Yeah.
New friend?
Apparently, we're neighbors.
Oh, really?
We're gonna go to swap meet and everything. Tractor pull.
Oh, that's
Right
awesome.
there.
I love swap. Swap meets are awesome. I'm a big fan of flea markets. Swap meets are also great. Happy
yeah.
Friday,
Love-
everybody.
love the
What
flea
did I
market.
miss? Did I miss good stuff?
Let's see. Did we
We,
kind of wandered
we
off.
began first 15-20 minutes talking about where is the limits of free speech.
Mhm.
Sorry. Then we moved on to saying hi to Mo and let her talk about her idiot principle. And then we started
Because
drinking.
I was streaming naked, Chandler. That's what I was doing. I was logging them in the basement to
Oh.
show 6 child boobies to everyone.
Oh, I see. And did they have evidence of this?
No, but it was deeply implied.
Oh, well, I mean, guilty until proven innocent, right?
Because, yeah, the rich and wonderful life I lead in this woman's mind, if only.
That happens sometimes. I am hoping that it's not going to have to be too big of a pain in the ass, but what makes me mad about it is using resources that are meant for more serious things.
Yeah, because it's not like we're in the middle of Breaking Bad and fentanyl place. No, not at all.
No, but that call to the CPS and they having to investigate means it takes resources from actual need.
Yeah, that is the issue for me. But what they don't realize is that I take copious and almost anal retentive. If you've ever watched Seven, the amount of notebooks that he has, I take those kind of notes, and through the grapevine, I've realized that there's about 3 other families she's done this to somewhat maliciously. So who's going to take notes and gather a fact pattern and present that to a local lawyer?
Mo?
Mo?
Mo.
Mo.
Absolutely. Write
Yep.
everything down.
Don't
keep
piss off a
records of
fake
everything.
redhead.
Well, she clearly doesn't know who she's messing with. Good for you for keeping records. I think keeping records is one of the best things that you can do if you're in a situation where people are, causing you trouble. I'm glad that you're figuring it out.
Well, I have all of you to thank because you guys are all lawyer people and I'm not. But I was going to do the Daryl Brooks thing where I was going to be the third party intervener until I met you guys. So
You were going to go all maritime law and,
well, I was going to
represent
pro
yourself.
se. I was going to, use my government name and then, in the third party
Mogo and
intervener.
Sob Sit would have definitely been covered by LawTube. 100%.
I would enjoy that. I actually think that you could handle it better than probably most pro se litigants. I'd be very interested to see that.
If I were going to do any shenanigans, I would be, allegedly in Minecraft and Legoland for double extra indemnity. Killdozer 2, the Boogaloo. I'm just saying, I have a Ford Transit.
Did you guys see that? Well, so Flux gave Jeff her hat in Houston, and I got to try it on, and I was really, really excited because it's such a cool hat. She got it made especially, to commemorate Killdozer. And one of the coolest hats, definitely. Awesome gift.
I want that hat. Oh my gosh,
It's really great. It says Killdozer, don't tread on me. And
oh my god, I need a
it's
hat just like that.
absolutely fantastic.
Nice.
You're gonna have to ask her where she got it
She
made.
got it.
Because she had it like specially made. I don't know where, but I can ask her. We could definitely put that together. Hey Val, how are we doing? On what
Good.
number are we at? Are you?
I stopped. I just opened it. Yep. This is the first one I've opened since I saw you earlier.
Yeah. Are you still? Do you still have a tally?
No.
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 Okay.
Well,
He
I
kept
do.
telling me he was going to send me, and then he didn't. So I don't know where he was sending the money, but it wasn't to me.
Weird.
Well, I've been
Well-
checking but it's not to me. So
I was gonna say,
some, yeah.
I think I know where it ended up.
Yeah, that's
except
what I was gonna say.
I've
But-
got
yeah.
more than I bargained for, but you know.
But Kaiser, you said earlier something about if you don't have something in your yard, and
If you don't have a truck on blocks in your front yard,
yeah, let's see if this counts.
What are we looking at?
Nicholas's
Come
yard.
on! It's a short.
That
You
awesome
have-
Swedish internet.
There.
Because it's free,
Let's
you
see, sound.
guys.
I need to upgrade my internet. Thank you for reminding me. I was kind of like timing out a little bit earlier when I was on with everybody, and I couldn't figure out if everybody was seeing
It
my
was
screen.
This
that
is,
way.
this is the back of the barn.
You were only
I don't
breaking
know
up
if you can see it.
yep, I can see that.
It's a car graveyard. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
You're my parents' house. Also, if that's the station wagon, I need it.
It's a Volvo station wagon.
And sold.
I've got one truck that's on a
Yeah.
flat.
Funny story, Nick. So actually, one of my best friends, his first car he ever bought was a 1992 Geostorm.
Okay.
He bought this in like the mid 2000s. The car was already like, well past 10 years old when he bought it and had been driven to absolute shit. So he bought 4 more junked and then proceeded to Frankenstein together a car in a weekend because that's just how the kind of guy he is. And he drove that thing literally for years, and probably one of my best memories hanging out with him was one morning we got up and he goes, "Hey, you want to go help me pull an engine?" I'm like, "It's February. It's like negative 20 degrees outside." "Yeah, sure, I'll get my coat."
Yeah.
So out there in the junkyard pulling an engine out of another Geostorm. It happened to be like one of the like really souped up ones from like the limited like sport run that they made of those cars. I think it was like a 95 horsepower engine.
Wait, when you
We
say
just-
negative 20 degrees, do you really mean literally negative 20 degrees, or are you exaggerating? Because
Wind chill.
I can't imagine
Yeah.
anything below like 50. Like that's like
Don't go to the Midwest.
in
Now
LA
you're
you're
talking
you're
about-
gonna die. Like you in LA you don't have clothing that will equip you for that kind of weather whatsoever. We would suffer and just freeze instantly if we had
Yeah.
weather like that.
Here in the Midwest, see, the thing is, we get these snowstorms. Sometimes we get these Indiana snowstorms where they're like, "Oh yeah, you get about 4 to 6 inches of snow," and what they really mean is that you'll get 14 to 16 inches of snow.
Plus the
And
drip.
then, right after the snow goes through, that's when the cold comes through. It snaps right down to about probably 30-mile-an-hour winds, usually sustainable.
Jesus.
And then you've got, the wind chills, probably, negative 20-ish. And you're just like, that's going to be around for a couple of days. But, hey, you got to get to work. There's 14 inches of snow on the ground, so you better get to it.
There's a reason people plug in their vehicles.
When I did my
I
army
literally can't
duty,
imagine.
I did it up north in Sweden, and we did have negative 20 Fahrenheit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and more that winter. That was interesting. But once you're inside the tent, good. Now I have to go outside and stand 4 hours guard. Yeah, that's not fun, but you do it. And I still have all my fingers and toes.
Knock on
The
wood.
key is dress in layers.
Yep.
Yes. Well, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
once you get used to the cold, then it heats up in like a day and a half and you have flooding. So that's
Yep.
always super fun.
So yeah, the negative 20, it's not sustained. It happens for a couple of days, and then it goes back to like 30, 40, just high enough to melt, and then you flood. And then it freezes
Yeah.
again, and then it floods again, and then it freezes again.
Then everything's
And
just
that's
a big
your winter in a
ice
nutshell.
But
Pretty much.
I prefer -10, -15 because it stays cold. But once you get to between freezing and non-freezing, that's horrible because everything gets soaked and then it freezes. and my year in the army, I had both and that place is God didn't want, Satan bought and left, and then the army moved in, and apparently there hasn't been a mosquito year there for a number of years. So they all came that year. Yeah. These are mosquitoes like north of Sweden, mosquitoes. It's not, it's...
Oh, so you're talking about the Florida state bird.
So like the Alaska mosquito, the giant one.
I mean, 2 mosquito bites and you got anemic. I mean, that was interesting. And going to bathroom outdoors, that was interesting.
Oh God, I can't even imagine that kind of weather.
Well, at least you get to stand up, you guys. I mean, you don't have to do like the weird squat thing. I mean, unless it's number 2.
That's true. Oh, hey, it's MG Live.
Hey,
how's it going? Nice to see you.
You exist.
Look at you looking all fancy.
Looks very swell.
Well, I had
you're really dressed up.
Well, I had court today, and I got home in time to eat a quick bite and then take the daughter to Taekwondo. So,
how'd court go?
Did she kick some ass?
Take some names.
Who kicked ass first? Did you kick ass? Did she kick ass?
Well, she's in there. They're actually going to do sparring tonight, so she's going to have some fun. But they were pads, but I may have to run in here in a little bit and help her put her pads on. They just started class, but it should be fun.
Yeah, we've moved on from free speech to just random crap. Saying. So I'm going to.
Well, we had a good talk going earlier until my wife called and cut me off.
She ruined everything.
Just completely dropped out of the street.
Everything was going fine until the wife called. That sounds that sounds kind of familiar.
To be fair,
I love her to
that
pieces.
A lot to my husband.
Don't even start with me.
I'm glad I don't have a wife.
My poor husband, he gets a call. CPS is coming here. What the hell is going on now? I don't know. Take care of it, fix it. I'm going to catch a case. I don't even look good in orange. I'm going to have to change my hair color. What are you talking about? Why is that your first thought?
Made logical sense to me. I'm with you.
Look, I'm playing 4D chess and I'm 7 moves ahead. Let's just keep this going.
Because I need to look cute for media now enough. Because when I become empress of the entire world, I need to have my struggle, which I'm not going to name that book that I write in prison because of connotations, of course. It will be something else. But still, it'll be ghostwritten by someone good and as per usual. And, something.
Oh, it's Nick's pussy.
Look, here's my ginger pussy.
I have a little emerald one right here. But this was the subject of many, many jokes in Monterey.
I love it.
It's
really
cute.
I want to go next year or whenever they have the next one.
It's 3D
It's a cat.
printed.
Okay. Cool.
It's 3D printed. It's very cute. They don't have an online store, but I do know the name of the vendor, and I guess they are planning on putting an online store together. So this was the subject of a lot of jokes one drunken night, where everybody was talking about, I'm playing with Chandler's pussy. Yes, I'm stroking Chandler's pussy. So it was, turned into a thing. That Jeff would not stop doing that like the entire freaking night, and it was hilarious. Don't get me wrong, but there was a certain point where I'm just like, okay, old hat, like move on, and he was like, no. Pussy. So it was pretty funny.
It never gets old.
If you don't stick to the bit, it's not that funny.
I was about to say, as a 12-year-old boy, it never gets old.
I definitely
it gets old and then eventually it becomes funny again.
Exactly.
It comes right back around.
And that's exactly what happened. So
it requires the dedication to push.
And now
through
when
the
I look at
awkward
it,
stage.
when I look at it, I think very fondly of my time in Houston. So and my good new friends.
Then it was all worth it.
And all the pussy stroking that took place.
Absolutely worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to make this YouTube thing work so that way I can actually justify going to Matsuri next year.
You know,
I know,
you don't
that's
even
what I'm saying, Kaiser. We need to get together and make this thing work so our respective spouses will watch the children and we can run away.
Kaiser,
Well,
I've
mine
gotta
will want to
say,
go to the convention.
Right?
I have
She
maybe
watches
11
all kinds of
videos on
anime.
YouTube. You don't have to make YouTube work. You can just go. You know, there are a lot of people there who like they don't have channels, they're not successful, you know, but you have a channel and you do great stuff. So you're already there.
Get it.
See, the thing is though, I need to make the YouTube thing work so I can have disposable income that I can use to do that because I don't have money. You know, like everything that I have make at my job and her job all gets eaten up by mortgage, payments, kid, bills, all that.
Yep.
That makes sense. Well, I learned some things when I went. If you don't drink at the bar, if you have a Jeff, for example, who can bring whiskey, then you can save a lot of money on alcohol because drinks are like $20 a pop, which is insane. But
if you have boobs, why are you buying drinks at the bar?
Yeah, people should be buying them for you.
I actually did. I'm sorry. Okay, tits out of the bag. I mean, they exist, but no, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't buying drinks.
Do.
I was.
Yeah, we saw pictures.
I mean, sorry. I guess I'm asking. I'm sorry. Was that wrong? I'm a little bit.
No, it's been
I was
a joke
trying
all
to
day.
keep them a secret.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You're keeping your boobs a
keep
secret?
them,
girl.
Oh no.
This picture?
Yeah.
That's not the picture I.
No, there was another one.
Chandler's tits are huge.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Chandler, you have boobs like me.
But she's like 5'2" or
You have
something.
double
There's no
Ds.
way you're 5'8", woman. There's no way.
Y'all have
I'm
no
not,
idea
I'm
how
not
in the
standing
British
straight
club
up here.
together.
I
There's
like
no way.
I tend to slouch a little bit.
You're like 5'5".
Because her spine is compressed. That's why she's so small.
It's Photoshop.
Right, are you?
They don't really exist.
Yeah,
I
and
can't believe
that
you've been hiding out.
that went on
not-
for a while.
I love the other clip where Valhalla goes, "Holy boobs, woman!"
I know. I'm over here like.
Yeah, there was another
damn,
picture that she
thanks,
posted.
man.
Yeah,
It was a eye-opening experience last night's stream with Flux. I promise you that.
I'm like double D me. Holy crap.
You know,
Like,
Megan
that's-
Fox has some good philosophies about boobs, and she's just like, you know, women have them, and there's no reason to be ashamed of them, and we should all embrace it, and there's nothing, you know, that there's nothing about it that we're sexualizing ourselves, and the fact of the matter is, I am well endowed, yes, but I do keep that a secret because I would like people to hear what I have to say. I know, as a woman who's attracted to other women, I know that when you see a great pair of tits, you get distracted and you're like, what did she just? I have no idea what she just said. And I want to avoid that, and so that's why you see here to here.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh.
Start over. I totally missed all of that.
As
See,
a woman who
you
just
can't see
wants
them, but you're
subscribers,
imagining-
I'm like, they've been through 6 kids. I don't care. They've got some miles on them. They're kind of like the, you know, the station wagon. They're not, you know, Chandlers that haven't had any miles on them. But hey,
that's a matter of definition.
Just think when you have kids, Chandler.
yeah, use them for good while they've not had any miles on them.
Oh, it's coming.
And then if you're like,
Chandler, for the use of womankind, don't listen to anything that I say while I'm tipsy and or pregnant. It will be a bad idea. I made Mr. Mo go bald with the second to last child, and it was a terrible idea. He looked like he had leukemia. I still found
that's what happened to me.
It still was a terrible idea.
I don't know how to react to that,
so-
Mo. I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna hide it.
Don't again. This is why I don't drink.
Help!
You'll get the attention of lead attorney
here.
You're a super producer.
You guys.
I just
No
want to
more
say I'm happy
drinking
to
from
be
Mo.
here. That's it.
Yes. It's Friday. It's great.
Sorry,
what?
I had a very shit day, and apparently I should eat before I drink, which is also.
Yeah.
I also have not eaten, and so I just ordered some delivery.
Oh.
That might help with the shots that I'm about to take.
There you go.
But
Because
I wanted-
Brandon's probably lighting you up.
I wanted to say there was we had this really amazing moment. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Jeff and Flux and Hayden and I all saw this really incredible burlesque show that they called the Nerdlesque show, and it was all of these girls who were dressed up, I guess, as anime characters, which I don't know anything about anime, so I'm just taking their word for it. They were hot. It was a really like sexy, fun thing. It was so random. It was like we were all hanging out in Jeff's room, and then Hayden was like, "Oh, there's this show going on at 1 a.m. Do you guys want to come?" And we all like titties, so we were like, "Yeah, let's go see titties." So we went and saw titties, and it was great. It was really, I mean, there was
love them.
there were some of the girls where their ass was better than their titties, but you know what? Overall, fantastic experience. Like 10 out of 10. Really loved it. That was a very nice bonding moment.
Okay, but did you make it hail?
Unfortunately, no.
Well,
So like
Brandon,
the way it
you know
was set
where
up.
to send your singles.
Yes.
Somebody want to play the Donald Trump clip because
I'm gonna come.
Gotta come.
oh my god. No, but the sad
be
thing is that
embarrassed.
it was in this giant stadium, like this huge auditorium. There were tons of people, and I thought that we were going to be like up close and personal. So I was wearing like this like lace, like Stevie Nicks kind of dress, you know, and you can kind of see my cleavage. So I got ready. I come out, and then Hayden goes, "Wow." Just like he was like a little drunk, and he was really impressed. It was a really funny moment, but he was very wowed by it. I did not impersonate him well at all, but it was a very funny moment, and I enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. We had a great time. I just wish we could have gone to a strip club, because that would have been, you know, that would have been hot.
Icing on the cake.
I have never been to a strip club.
Me neither.
Never been either.
I've never
Me
been.
neither. And I've had opportunities, and
I
I
know
just
you have been to
didn't
a
care.
strip club.
Let's see here. I'm the Swedish guy, and I am the one here who's been to a titty club.
I've worked at like 3.
Okay. Yeah,
I just
thank
didn't
you.
care to go.
Yeah, just you know.
I
Why would I
wanted
pay-
to go
why would I
make it
pay for it
hail,
when-
But apparently that's
I
assault.
was in Houston
If you throw a bunch
in
of
the
quarters
mid-
at 'em.
yeah. I was in Houston
Look,
in the mid-90s.
I'm married.
and,
I get the view 24/7. It's fine.
Reasonable.
Yeah,
I was about to say I can look in the mirror.
yeah. I mean,
It's not the same view,
Yeah.
though.
yeah.
It's-
I have a very, very good girlfriend who, when she sees, okay, you seem a bit down. Yeah, it's been a shit day. Okay.
Whoop.
The day just improved.
Instantly improves your day, doesn't
You know
it?
what's
Yeah.
sad for
Oh.
men though?
Nicholas,
The opposite doesn't
She's
help
keeper.
with women. So, you know, like Mr. Mo can tell that I've had a bad day. Dropping trowel does not help. That's usually, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
So sometimes even a
it's my dick in a
compliment
box.
doesn't help.
It's my
Just
dick in
saying,
a box,
hey, you look good.
Mo.
Yeah.
Look,
It's my dick in a box.
advice for the dudes. A bouquet, a $6 bouquet of flowers, and a box of chocolates goes way better.
No,
Oh,
you know what you
flowers?
do? You put on the
I don't
Great
like flowers.
Baking Show, you put on the closed captions, you take the children away, and you give us some wine. Put on closed captions on anything, and we will be happy. I don't know
What
why.
kind of wine?
Something about middle-aged women, we want the closed captions
Box.
on.
Something about making the dishes is yeah.
Disappeared.
I need to. Well, what kind of wine do you gravitate towards?
The square
I
one.
like,
Franzia.
no, I like
I didn't ask what
vodka
shape.
and-
Drinkable.
No, I like vodka
Whatever she can
and
buy
Diet
2.5
Sprite
gallons
or sparkling water. I like.
See, I
I
wish
like
I could
something
drink
that's gonna get
vodka.
me drunk quick. But
That's reasonable. I'm a whiskey girl. I've tried with vodka. Vodka like definitely triggers headaches for me. So I have like a whole bottle of vodka in the kitchen. I tried to make Moscow mules for Steve Gosney. I had a Moscow mule and nope. So the vodka's just sitting there. I'm just whiskey.
Must be
all
more
day.
sugar in it. The sugar will give you
It's very sweet.
a bad hangover.
Kinda
Yeah,
gross.
that's it.
my superpower is I find booze that's on clearance. So I have a bunch of booze in our super pantry that's been on clearance. So I have like gin and cognac and all sorts of booze that I haven't even drank yet, and a bunch of stuff that I need to go through.
Yeah, I picked up a bottle of Glenmorangie 10 today, so I gotta open it up tonight.
I made a beer
Nice.
run this morning all hungover for apparently no reason.
For the reason of consuming it all
Brandon
at once
must
and
be
then it being
tapped out.
gone.
Well, that's kind of what I was hoping for.
Brandon, throw some more money at these guys. They've earned it. Come on. I know you're looking in chat. Nicholas, what jacket are we wearing tonight? I really like that one. I think I've seen
Just
it
the
before.
orange flame.
I am
Is the flame one?
wearing my red spotted, and underneath.
Oh, those colors go to
Nice.
so
Ooh.
well.
I
I
Looks
like
like
that.
stained
You know what?
glass on my screen.
It is.
And underneath, I got the Fresh Prince in Bel-Air shirt. And
I like it.
And there's not an inkling of cotton anywhere. This is
It's all polyester.
polyester lycra, and
How are you not
Sweat
sweating?
I am telling Stop Oil now. They are coming and they are going to glue their hands to the front of your lawn.
Oh, forget about the planet. Who cares about the planet? Nobody cares. But it's just the plastic. It's very unpleasant. You're literally wearing fibers that are woven out of plastic, and it makes you very hot. It's very unpleasant. I don't understand how anybody can wear polyester.
I don't know, but
I might be.
Do you feel like you want to sing ABBA or any of the kind of fusion country pop singles that the Sweden's known
Some
for?
ABBA.
Should we do karaoke? Is that what's happening tonight? Because I'm down.
Oh, Chandler's ready to sing.
It's hard to do
Don't
that
make
on
me-
StreamYard.
don't make
I
me
am
sing.
not drunk
delay
enough to
ruins it.
sing, nor are you
Don't make
drunk
me
enough
sing.
to hear me sing. I think that this is a contract that neither of us are drunk enough to sign
No.
into.
Oh, you don't have to
Mo.
be drunk to sing.
I have a question.
Did-
Actually, going around in a circle. Let's say that we do karaoke. What's your go-to karaoke song?
I have never done karaoke. I stay home
Never.
and have children. That is what
Never
my
done karaoke.
superpower has been.
You haven't had a
Oh,
child
Mo.
for 7 years.
Shut the hell
But
up, Mr. Mo.
Okay, tell us though. Let's say we all invited you to karaoke tonight. What would you pick?
I need to see the list of songs.
Conscientious objector, but I would film you all.
I've been to karaoke twice. I sang on both, and you know when people egg you on, sing, you have to sing. It can't be that bad. They only do that once with me. I will sing with enough beer. I will. And so one time in a local karaoke that was around here 20 years ago,
I'm
and the other one
talking
was
to my fake friends
oh.
and not being naked.
Hey,
That's what I'm
hey,
doing.
Mo.
It's Mr. Mo.
Mr. Mo.
He does it, in fact,
Mr.
exist.
Mo.
I don't lock
Hey,
him in
Mo.
the closet
Why
all the
not?
time.
Oh,
Can you hear us? No, you got headphones in. What's his MOS?
What is it? What was your MOS? I forget. I wasn't paying attention.
68 whiskey.
68 whiskey.
Yankee,
Something,
and,
something.
What Yankee?
He was something. What?
Very
I
helpful.
was a medic, a lab tech, a patient admin specialist, a supply sergeant, and a photojournalist.
He was a photojournalist and a bunch of other stuff.
I heard
Nice.
something Yankee. I didn't know. I didn't hear the numbers.
So he did a lot of. He started as a med tech, then a patient. For fuck's sake, talking to the microphone and you tell them
Yes.
because I can't remember
I
stuff.
can't hear it.
And then tell us
Well,
what your
no
go-to
shit.
karaoke song is going to be, because I still need to know.
Yes, so I
Good night.
started as the 68
Give me
whiskey,
your phone.
which is a medic. Then I became
You can put the ear thingy in.
68
a little
kilo,
earwax, it'll
which
be
is
all
med
right.
lab tech.
Listen to us.
Then I became
Oh.
a supply sergeant, which is 92 Yankee.
Yeah.
Then a patient admin specialist, and finally a photojournalist
How did you get the
Very
phone
exciting.
journalist thing?
for 26 years.
They need.
Wow.
He was active National Guard, so he just kind of went where they had a spot for a higher doodad. They start
That's cool.
talking in what you call it, and I don't pay attention.
Yeah. My wife was 92 Yankee, so
I was supposed to actually be in his unit, so, but I failed out of basic. I'm the only one in my family who failed out of all the military.
You were telling me that the
Oh,
other day.
you started having kids instead. So yeah.
No, so like seriously, my dad's a former Navy SEAL. My mom's all military. My whole family's military, and I failed basic.
Your dad was a SEAL?
at least you got to do it. To try. I have asthma, so they wouldn't even consider me.
Yeah.
You know,
I said
I
between
tried.
between my flat feet and and bad eyesight. Yeah.
well,
Yeah, I have no 3D
you know.
vision. It wouldn't have worked out for me. Not at all. I can't. You
You
know
could
that.
have
You
been
know that eye
you could
test.
have been a tank driver.
Hmm?
Or a submarine. I mean, do you have the height for it? I mean,
You would have definitely stayed in the submarine.
And she can't drown, so
Well, there you go. You know, we have wanted
But
to
she
diversify.
floats.
I think I could have been great at communications
Oh, that's
and
funny.
logistics.
Mm.
Possibly
I mean,
interpersonal communications.
Chandler would have been an expert. Dig a hole you fit in, 2 shovels, and you're there. I mean,
I'm not sure exactly what that means. I did get the flotation device reference though, and I think I need more ice because I have 2 shots to go. And I think that somebody lurking in chat needs to be more generous with the gentleman. I will be right back.
Oh, that was
yeah.
funny.
Well, we don't have all those numbers and stuff. And we have the regiment and we have the unit and stuff like that. But if I reveal it, then I will reveal where my position in case of war.
You guys
So
are a little
can't.
different.
Yeah. What I can say is I shot 15.5 haubits.
Nice.
Those
Nice.
goes boom.
That's
Those
a big,
goes boom.
That's a big artillery
Yes.
round.
Hey. And you did the
Takes
famous
off
Jesse
limbs
Ventura
and-
lines.
What?
Takes out buildings.
Takes out the entire pig. You just go poof.
Yeah.
There's
Those
no
are
surviving that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about our MOS, those numbers, those are just a job code. So whatever your,
Okay.
Yeah.
your job was, it's just the code for that job. And it doesn't
Yeah.
like the Army and the Marines and the Navy, they're all different codes.
Yeah.
So like
So-
the infantry in the Army and the infantry in the Marines, they have different codes. I was in the Army, I was an 11 Bravo. I'm not even sure what the Marines are, but it's a little different.
Yeah, I think my nephew's in I think he's artillery, so I'm not sure what that one is.
Yeah, artillery here. We go through the same basic training as what do you call it in US? Well, not the equivalent of SEALs. We call them hunters.
Rangers?
And Rangers. Thank
Like
you.
Rangers,
so we have
yeah.
we have the same first 3 months. So I became in artillery instead.
Yep.
Oh no, not going there.
Funny enough, my granddad actually was artillery. He was in. God, I would have to
When
get
we
the
are talking about
stuff.
things that go boom.
Yes.
Ronco.
Hey,
Sorry about that.
Hey, Ian. How's it
Speaking
going?
of things that explode, how do you do?
I was not expecting a Runkle sighting. Hi.
Oh, I thought I'd pop in.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
Excellent to see you, sir.
There's no way you guys aren't related.
Says
Well,
the
sure,
one
I'm
who
related
actually-
to Nick.
That's
I
the one who
still
actually
remember-
looks like me. I mean,
It's
Do you guys
possible
remember
that it's
that
very
one?
distant.
Very
The first
different.
Pocket Friday stream I ever went on, Jeff strategically placed the progression between Danny,
Mhm.
Ian, and Nick, and it was like this,
Yeah.
like
Past, present, and future.
You're
Yeah.
right.
It was pretty great, and I was very amused by the
He
progression.
was
We could
building
have
his own
gone in.
Rivendell set.
we could have gone in a season of whatever they are doing now. And the acting would have been equally crap.
So what's new, Ian? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. I've been going through some of the depth transcripts, just having a look, because before we had the transcripts, when we were watching the trials, we could only see the evidence. We couldn't really watch the lawyering.
The
And
sidebars
so-
were a mystery.
Yeah, because even if you're in the courtroom, you can't actually tell
Yeah.
much about it, because they'd actually blast the courtroom with white noise. It was actually quite unpleasant when you were sitting there. It was just
Yes,
like,
it is.
because white noise is pretty harsh, and they just like flood the courtroom with it. It was loud. So you could tell a little bit about what would happen, because Elaine Bredehoft has no poker face. And so
Yeah.
and there was also a bit of a tell in that whoever Judge A was talking to most probably lost whatever was going on at the sidebar.
I noticed that.
She'd sort of ask them she'd ask, okay, what's the objection? And then if she thought that was BS, she'd be like, how is that at the objection? Or if she agreed with it, she'd turn to the other side and be like, justify yourselves. And yeah, so that was usually the case, but we couldn't actually see what was going on. And sometimes the objection, or sometimes things were very much not what you expect. So I'm really enjoying going through them and just kind of talking about those and sharing the moments that I thought were interesting.
Okay.
Also talking about Baldwin.
God.
Hopefully they're hopefully they're going to start charges up against him again now that
So
they've
what-
got a report.
So what's the deal with that? They've got a third party report on the gun now?
Yeah, they got the FBI report, and the FBI tested this thing to failure. They couldn't get it to fire. Yeah, they couldn't get it to fire even with hitting it with a mallet, which this is not the first time I've seen testing to failure. It's actually, I've seen that quite a bit in Canada here, where they've got a gun. They're like, hey, it's somebody's homemade gun. We're going to test it with hammers, and we broke it. We couldn't get it to fire. It's not a gun. But Baldwin was raising concerns about whether this thing was tested properly. So they sent it out to another lab who repaired it. They identified the broken parts. They swapped those in. And then they did some further testing. And I think some of it's interesting. That gun was incredibly filthy. Like to a degree that I just wonder, because blanks are dirty, right? They
for sure.
They spit out a lot of garbage. And normally when you fire and an actual bullet is traveling down the barrel, it kind of scrapes the barrel and pushes a lot of that crap out. But in this case, when they fired it, there was so much gunk on the sides that they couldn't even tell, like they couldn't identify the rifling marks other than just like the direction of spin. And it actually compressed the bullet substantially. So it's like pushing, it's like pushing, meat
so
to a
shave some of the bullet
press.
down.
Yeah, it like compressed it down because there's just so much garbage
That
around
is so
the.
dangerous.
So it could have been worse had it been a clean gun.
It could,
Because it went through and hit the guy behind her.
It could have gone all the way through him.
The other thing is, had it been a little dirtier, it might have just blown Baldwin's hand off.
That's
no victims cited.
If it's constricting the bullet on its way out, that's a real close call to just exploding in your hand.
Yeah,
no
it's
kidding.
It's extremely dangerous, y'all.
So I'm just like, who was this armorer who just doesn't actually clean the guns? And this was supposedly like a newly purchased gun before the movie. And I'm going, how does it get that filthy?
How does it get that dirty? Wow.
That was the question I had this morning when we were talking about it with Eric, because I think Eric represented it as being a brand new gun, and that was something that I had not heard before.
Yeah,
So
I hadn't
what
heard
do you
that
think of
either.
that?
So, I mean, either it's not a brand new gun and it's one that's been used a lot and just never cleaned, or else where was it being shot? Because a movie doesn't typically go through that many rounds.
Well, didn't they say that they were using it for target practice?
Conspiracy
Like off
theory,
the.
Yeah,
was
but
it the
target
actual
practice
gun?
would.
The
Yeah, go
plinking
ahead.
thing has been a
Yeah.
continuous, topic of contention, and nobody really has a clear angle on it. It's been rumored. It has not been substantiated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
then that's
honestly,
the reason
if
that
it, had,
Eric, I think, was contacted by New Mexico PD.
if it had been actually fired in plinking, I would have expected it to be
Be
cleaner.
cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, the bullet. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. Lucky they
So
blow
I-
themselves up plinking.
Well, I know nothing about
Yeah.
guns. I fired a BB gun when I was 8 years old, and that is the only weapon experience that I have.
well, you're from
Tragically.
California. That doesn't-
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so if you don't mind enlightening me, why would it be cleaner with plinking?
because the
Because-
bullet itself actually scrapes as it
Yeah.
goes, there's only a
Because
Okay.
it spins.
like
Cleans it
think about if you've got a tube like a pipe and a sewer pipe can get a whole bunch of crap around the edge, but if
Good
you took
analogy.
something that's like
Good
exactly
analogy.
the same shape size of the pipe and you shoved it through, it's going to push that junk out.
Okay.
Like a
that's-
plumbing snake.
like a bottle
Yeah.
cleaner or something.
That's a good
Yeah.
explanation.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
But there was so much gunk in there, instead of the bullet pushing it out, it squeezed the bullet down smaller
So
instead of
this-
cleaning.
So that narrative might go against this whole plinking rumor, potentially.
I don't think the plinking rumor has much
Much
somebody would have spoken up to say that they were there at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that was just a rumor, but I don't think it's actually substantiated. I just
Well, I-
want to know where the live cartridges came from, because that's
That's
Yeah,
big.
that's
that's
horrifying.
I liked
Thank
your
you,
theory
Brandon.
from earlier. I believe that was your theory, correct? I really thought that was I didn't know that.
The theory that I was sort of noting there was everything that they were doing was there wasn't enough time for it and there wasn't enough money for it.
Yep.
And so I was wondering if they weren't in a situation where they just needed more like cartridges for filming, but they didn't have enough dummies. So I wonder if they didn't just go, you know what, we'll cut some corners here. We'll use some live cartridges, but we'll just put them on like the bandoliers and stuff like that, where they're not going to end up in a gun. They're just going to be decorative.
Oh, no.
And then once they wander, that's a problem. And if that turns out to be the case, then whoever made that call should be in a cell. But that's just a guess, because I can't see how else they end up there.
Well, it would make sense considering the other corners that they cut. They cut a lot of corners with this production.
Yeah, having a 20-something gal with very little experience without a mentor on.
Well, she was really experienced, if I read it correctly, that she's like second generation.
She was the daughter of a known props master, but I think this is only like her first gig actually doing this.
Yeah, this is her first solo gig.
Yeah, and I'm a daughter of a former Navy SEAL, and I failed basic.
Yeah, I think the best favor that she's done her dad was that she was asked in an interview, how much did you learn from your dad? And she's like, nothing. I learned this all myself, which is an incredibly audacious statement to make when you're talking about your dad is one of the best known figures.
Well, it also sounds like 20-something arrogance, like something that I would have said something like that when I was a kid. It's, like my parents didn't do anything for me. I did this all on my own. Like, I only have myself to thank. That's something that, what's her face, who is playing Snow White now, her whole commentary recently. It's just something you say when you're in your 20s. It's not to be taken very seriously. I'm sure she learned things from her father.
But her dad probably. A favor? Yeah, her dad probably doesn't want the notion that that she learned anything from him.
Well, that could also be actually.
I didn't teach her. I taught her nothing. I taught her nothing at all.
It might be her first time when the dad changed his name. I mean,
the dad's like, I didn't even know her. I never saw her. She isn't even mine. The mom lied. I don't even know.
Prop Gun Master Smithy.
Get us on Maury, and let us take a paternity test. You are not the father. Let do the little dance, all over the stage.
Yeah, Jerry Springer, the new Jerry Springer show featuring DY guy. I mean. We are tormenting the DY guy that he should do a TV show in the style of Jerry Springer. He would do amazing at it.
Oh my goodness, that would be hilarious.
Larry.
I mean,
that would be perfect. It's it's the same general sound. It fits perfectly. I like it.
Listen, we need this in our lives.
Commercial, have you seen his commercial for Car Crash Guy?
I have not.
You haven't?
No.
I think I have. It's been a while.
I don't know this one.
Pull that up.
Haven't seen it.
Let's see if I can find it here.
You're gonna get a copyright strike.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's gonna strike you.
I mean, look what happened to
commentaries for years.
You saw what happened to Andrew this week. He played his own content, and Netflix copyright claimed him. So you can't win with copyright.
But if I play through Twitter, because it's out on Twitter.
I love the way that Nicholas says Twitter. It's my favorite.
Twitter.
It sounds so much more dignified that way instead of X, which sounds a bit dirty and gross, which it really is. So
I've loved the reports from spouses who have had to explain to their partners, like, hey, this subscription for X is not what you think.
It's
not
worse.
Ashley Madison.
Okay, this is the short version of 15 seconds. I know on his page, on his channel, he has the longer version. Let's see.
Want more cash when you get in a crash? Call me, Larry, the car crash guy foreman, a trial attorney.
We
I
can't see a
could
full
give
screen?
you a bigger check.
Epic. Epic.
This is possibly the best commercial. I want to get in a car crash now just to call in.
Oh, that's funny.
Now, the funny thing is that, like, Canada restricts the hell out of advertising, so you can't actually make an ad like that here.
Really?
Why not?
Oh,
Canada
What is it?
refuses to let you have this awesomeness on your show. Why?
Another reason I don't like Canada.
Wait, hold on. Tell us what is the thing that Canada would not allow?
You can't like suggest that you are better than other lawyers in any way.
Really?
You can't suggest anything about results, like that you will get people a better result. You can't any of that stuff. So you see a lot of law firms who have ads that are basically, "We are lawyers who exist," and that's it.
We're here on
all of the
7th Street.
possible Castro's son. I don't like this.
Well, it's not actually him that has anything to do with it. It's the law societies that create these rules. But one of the funniest things, I used to work. I articled at this firm with a guy named Sean Beaver, and so they tried to get a radio ad, and the radio ad kept getting rejected because as they would go through the process, somebody would look at it and they would say, "This is clearly a joke." Because literally all they could put in the ad was Beaver Law, we do criminal defense. And so they're like, Beaver Law, huh?
Sorry, I'm 12 and a half.
Yeah.
No, I'm struggling too. It's okay, Mo. I'm right there with you.
So
shame on both of you. This is an adult stream with adult topics. Get a hold of yourselves.
I am truly an adult.
Well, there are
This
a lot
beaver
of states.
will work for you.
I think a lot of states here kind of have that restriction as well. You see a lot of advertisements where they'll say, there's no representation made that the quality of service here is better than other firms. I think there are a lot of them that have those requirements that you can't say, I'm going to get you a better result than others.
Isn't that more for like protection against lawsuits than advertisement rules?
where I am, it's actually an ethical thing. So it's not that you can get sued over it. It's that you can end up getting sanctioned over it. Like the Law Society is going to be like, we're going to suspend you for 9 months for, for your advertising.
So in Canada, I presume there's an ethics committee attached to the bar?
Yeah. So
I'm still learning.
anything,
I don't know
if there's
that
a
exists
complaint,
in the US or not.
if there's a complaint, they'll start looking into it. They can look into things on their own motion, but they almost never investigate anything. So I actually had to get an opinion from them just to be like, can I make a YouTube channel? And so people are like, why don't you advertise your, anything at the end of your things going like, come hire me? I'm like, because then it becomes an advertisement and then it is subject to a whole bunch of other rules.
That wouldn't fly.
That's weird.
I'm not exactly sure how it is here in Sweden, but I've never seen an advertisement for a lawyer firm. But the most prominent lawyers are those who get featured in TV as experts. Even as long as you have represented someone in a really, really big case, no matter how crap you are, you get hired.
Did you see that Fox News has a law student doing commentary?
Yes, I did see that.
Really? What?
I was just like,
crap, I am available.
Yeah,
Mo is pre-law. I mean,
I'm pre-law and mouthy and redheaded. Seriously.
She's also pre-medic and pre-body language.
Mr. Mo, again,
so
shut
it's
the hell up.
Yeah, Val. I mean, they could do it too.
Does studying for the LSAT count as being a law student?
it's close enough. You know what?
Because I'm not interested. I don't want to go on Fox. Fox, I have no interest.
I just am like, how crap is your production? And also, if you're a law student and a major, news organization is like, we want your opinion, don't do it. It can only end badly, because really what that means is we shopped around for a lawyer to give this opinion and none of them would.
Yeah.
So now you're
Uncle,
just looking
I am as
at
close to syndication as I will ever be. This writer's strike is the best thing I have ever happened. I am a mouthy, fluffy redhead from the Midwest. No one wants to listen to me, but these actors and these comedians who can't make anything funny without writers, I am here and I am funny without writers. I just need this strike to go on a little bit longer.
Oh, it'll go
I'm
on.
just
It'll
saying.
continue. Trust me.
hope
From
so.
everything that I've heard, I don't see an end to this soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah,
I've been covering this a little bit off and on through what I cover on my channel, and yeah, it's like they're expecting this to run straight up to November at least, possibly
Oh, you
even
mean
more.
we won't get the Marvels and Snow White, the 7 baristas
Those are
of
already.
Well,
Stanford?
all I
those
can
are
tell
already
you is
done,
this:
so-
here's the icing on the cake that nobody's talking about, because a lot of these networks and whatnot, they're going behind closed doors and they're licensing a bunch of old TV shows for viewing on their networks, because right now 2024 to even through 2025, there's not gonna be a lot of stuff coming out. Everything that's going to be coming out that's going to be new next year is going to be stuff that was shot and put and done in the can like this year before the strike happened. And even then, there's going to be probably some of those where you might get half of the season, and then the other half of the season is going to get shot and everything. Once all that's done, it might release like a year or so later.
I'm really sad about it.
Yeah.
I have a show that I like.
Yeah, and there are some pilots out there when they start shooting an entire season and then put in a bag, and half a season, and movies who just get scrapped for tax reasons. All of a sudden we might see those, and
that'll be interesting if they start like scraping out from the bargain bin, because
oh my gosh, Mork and Mindy coming back for.
Have you seen the stuff they've been putting out? Like the stuff they've been rejecting must be real stinky. So
it's very shameful. It's been on the decline for years.
Hello, Dolly.
Hey, Sal.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Hello, Dolly.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see
How are
you
the
too.
cats?
Did you send anybody over?
Good.
Oh no, you can't.
No, not yet. Soon.
I'm going to have to jump off here a little bit and go in to Taekwondo for a minute. So I'll try to jump on later once I get home.
Yeah,
but it's good to see everybody.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Right.
Nice seeing you.
See ya.
See ya. But Ian, aren't you replacing Rob today?
I am 6:30. So I'm hanging out here until I gotta go live on my own stream.
Okay, good, because I'm planning on getting wasted for free. Hint, hint. I have 45 minutes to do it. So I might not have enough time.
I think the last of the money is in my glass, and once I'm done with this, well, there's going to be no more entertainment. So somebody's got to get something.
Free booze for me too.
Yeah, and if Ian seems oblivious, what are these people talking about? Well, Brandon has been chasing Valhalla Awaits for close to 60 hours now, paying to drink on other people's streams.
Which he has done. Yeah. Just to be clear, he has fulfilled his obligations as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. So
Brendan seems to be a real big fan of the paid drinking thing. I think that he spends more on getting other people to drink than I spend on like my mortgage. So
hey, we all have a hobby.
Without calculating it, because I'm not a math person, I'm just going to assume that that's true.
I'm pre-law. I don't math.
What does that mean, Brandon Lesko? I don't know what that means.
That he was supposed to pay Valhalla, but it sent it to you instead.
That was not an accident. I'm sure.
There are no accidents when you're paying Chandler. Chandler has big boobs. You pay Chandler.
I'm not showing those.
And I'm sorry, I'm tipsy, so I'm going to say all the things without the filter, which I usually don't ever have anyway.
Mo has big boobs. Just saying.
I do, but they've been through 6 kids. They've kind of had mileage. Just
lady.
Well,
yes, Mr. Mo, you get the benefit from drunkenness.
Well, I'm currently around 260 pounds, so I have boobs too.
Woo, boobs for everyone.
This has been a really quirky stream, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. It's been I didn't really stream for a long time. I missed streaming. I was kind of out of commission for a little bit, and I'm so happy to be back because I missed everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get a puppy. So yay!
Yay!
No way. What kind of puppy?
What's your puppy?
Tell us about the puppy.
No idea. Okay, well, so drunk me is not allowed to get the puppy. Sober me has to talk to Mr. Mo about the puppy.
Get a dingo.
Okay, reasonable.
I am not getting a dingo. I don't know. I'm
for all your baby eating needs.
Anyway, you were saying about the puppy.
So, with my complex regional pain syndrome, I need a dog that cats are assholes, so they don't want to sit with you when you're having kind of a pain day.
Mine
so,
you just need better cats. You need male cats.
Yeah. Look, Thor likes to sniff my hair like Joe Biden and our resident and chief, and that's awesome, but he's an ass. So
Thor is not up to the task, clearly. You need another animal who's going to do the job.
Yes. So we're looking at a golden doodle or a Bernie, some kind of small yappy dog that will sit and snuggle. So there's a rescue little cute dog that I'm looking at. And we are not getting a dingo, you dingo weirdo. Salbert. Why do I have
golden
to,
doodle.
why?
That's a great idea. My cousins have some variant of that, and that dog is like
or a Bernie doodle. They're weird or Maltipoo. I don't. Y'all people come up with some weird ass names for some damn dogs.
Well, they aggressively snuggle with you, and I think that's what you're looking for. I happen to have cats who are very snuggly, and I understand not complex regional pain syndrome, but I understand migraines and fibromyalgia. My cats are very snuggly, but they're boy cats. I think male cats have kind of a more affectionate
I'm gonna get a boy
on.
because I think girls. I think something about the uterus just makes us all insane. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Women are nuts.
You're not wrong.
As a woman, I cannot figure out my hormones and or feelings to save my life. So
women are terrible.
Thor is a boy cat.
Yeah.
So.
My parents had a Yodel, Yorkshire Terrier, and a Toy Poodle mix. That
and
was
it also is a motivation to help me walk. So, yeah, I have to walk daily just to keep my leg from atrophying and that kind of stuff. So, getting to walk and do all the other things, but not like walk a long distance,
Well, when you stream all the time, it's very easy to just, sit on your ass in front of a computer all day. Trust me, I've been there. I get it.
Not naked streaming as per reports, but it is what it is.
I was excellent at that before I started streaming. So
that is true.
Same.
Yeah.
Sounds like a porno.
But you get to kind of hone your craft.
Sound like a porno, Mr. Mo. For the love of God.
I'm not sure what Mr. Mo is hearing.
Well, he said, so he sent my channel to the CPS worker to show that I, in fact, do not, stream nude.
Oh, God.
And
There's
apparently
no
Go in the Deep End sounds like a
why does
I'm going to end up in a CPS report.
Just for one
like
day,
it's the first
like
time, Sal. Calm down.
Yeah, Salbert, seriously, like you haven't ended up in a government report before.
Well, government report, yeah.
Like we haven't ended up in government reports before. Seriously, Sal.
The second I tried to buy Jensen evidence, I was ended up in a report.
Fact.
Well, you have a criminal defendant smiling and winking at you when you go to trial.
I did. Yeah. Michael Turney flirted with me.
Yeah.
So our friend Salvador Dali, he went to a very interesting trial and he had some amazing interactions.
Yes. Yeah, Michael Turney was wheeled into the courtroom after lunch.
Tell us who that is. Tell us about your experience. I want to know more.
Well, he was wheeled in. I had just got there. I was looking at him, and he looked at me and smiled. Our eyes met.
And the stars got brighter.
We kind of forgot to tell
it was
Sal
a match made in hell.
Behind the defendant, you're supposed to be on his side, and he was the only one sitting there. So of course,
Well, I wanted
he
to like
believed-
see the jury, but
we've-
not like the obvious.
Yeah, we forgot to tell Sal
I
that.
know.
Yes, if you
So
sit
Sal-
behind him.
Yeah.
Sal, are
but
you?
that was the direct verdict. That
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First I've seen. Yeah.
I wanted to
where
ask
the
Sal if he's
judge
pro.
had. Yeah. Sorry.
I was interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No worries. Go on. I'm drinking.
Well, I'm also drinking. I'm drinking and I have ADHD, so that means I'm inevitably going to interrupt
Me
people
too.
and be an asshole. So I'm sorry about that.
Same.
I did want to know, Sal, are you generally, if you had to pick one, would you be more pro defense or pro prosecution?
Oh yeah, pro defense, big time.
Tell us why. I want to know why.
Because
prosecution.
prosecutors suck 99% of the time, and they're corrupt and only care about winning.
Get wrecked, Gravely.
Yeah. So I need a lot of evidence to convince me.
Okay,
the way
that's
it's supposed
reasonable.
to be, yo.
But have you always been
Way
like
it's
that? I mean, what was there any case that particularly changed your mind, or have you
I've
just always
always
had that
kind of
mentality?
been like that,
Yeah,
but
just
Rittenhouse
like needing evidence.
was kind of what really woke me up.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah. So that was my
Rittenhouse.
first- Yeah.
Yeah. I met Nick Rekieta and I forgot to thank him for Rittenhouse, and I didn't even get a picture, which was really dumb.
Oh, you're never going to live that down. Never.
Probably not. Probably not.
I could have
But
in Vegas, but the lines were so long.
See, you got to go to Vegas. That sounded really, really fun.
Yeah.
And Houston was incredibly cool. But yeah, no, I never got to talk to I never got to talk to Rekieta about Rittenhouse, which was the trial that definitely changed my mind, because I was a liberal when the trial was happening, and I believed the liberal narrative, which was
Well,
really dumb.
We all make mistakes, Chandler.
Chandler, we
I know.
have to have a talk. I need to see how you awoke it, because I awoke from my
Slumber.
I'm going to say retardation, but I know that's not a good word.
It's exactly the correct
I'm gonna
word,
say
Mo. I would use that word as well.
Regression.
Mhm.
Regression of intelligence. So how we need to have a stream where I'm not
Intoxicated as much as you
tipsy-ish.
are right now. Sure.
Let's hope CPS doesn't see this one.
Dirk,
Sal,
I
you
can
have a
barely
question
work
here?
StreamYard. I'm only semi-competent in Rumble. How the hell am I going to have a chatterbait? I'm not that one
69
guy
for
with the
69,
weird
baby.
beard. Who's that one guy?
69,
Murphy. I'm
Jack
not
Murphy.
Murphy.
I'm not sure exactly who that is. But
God.
it sounds like you
Would
were
you like to see
previously a little
pictures?
more left.
Do not.
No, we don't want to see pictures. I'm not interested. No, are you?
I'll text them to you later. Don't worry about it.
Are you trying to get Nicholas yeeted from the internet? Because I
No,
think
I'll
that's
text
what
them
you're-
to you. It'll take you.
Look,
behind
we
the
don't
scenes
need to
thing.
see Jack Murphy
I've never
doing
seen the
anything.
pictures.
It's gross.
They're of an angle you would not expect a man of that size to achieve.
So back to
He used a
politics.
selfie stick.
I would say
That's
so I
one
grew
way
up
of
in-
putting it.
I'm giving up. I
Give
would
up
say
for another day.
I would say that I
Oh,
definitely
sorry.
leaned much more left prior to watching the Rittenhouse trial.
Yeah.
I'm still very disappointed in Schrader after his decision in the Anderson case. After
And
his
then-
many, many poor decisions in the Anderson case. And I don't care that... Okay, I'm not going to say that out loud. I have feelings about Schrader, and I'm not going to express them. But ultimately,
Did
I
you
think
see
that
how he
we all...
sentenced Joshua
Feelings
Zelinski?
about or feelings for?
About. Yeah.
He sentenced
About.
Joshua Zelinski, the guy who chased Rittenhouse,
How did he
threatened
sentence
Nathan
him?
DeBruin.
How did
I was like
sentence him?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was facing
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
Now, what is
I mean, the
interesting
thing is
about
when people say he was facing whatever, that's usually bullshit. Because
That's
usually
true.
when they say, he was facing, like, in Canada, the maximum sentence for a break and enter is life in prison. But that doesn't mean that the guy who breaks into your shed to steal your weed whacker
Yeah.
is going to jail for life. He's probably getting, 6 months tops.
Exactly. You
So-
have minimums and maximums, and people
Yeah,
rarely meet
yeah,
the
But
maximums.
he was
right?
going around threatening witnesses.
Wasn't
And the
this,
courthouse.
Wasn't he also? Didn't he also have a $10 million lawsuit against the city of Kenosha?
Probably.
Yes, he did. Yes, he absolutely did.
True,
that
Max.
happened.
It was.
And it was brought up during the Rittenhouse trial, as I recall.
That was gross.
Yeah, the $12 million where he accidentally
You're right.
Forgot to disclose that he was armed.
That was
As
was
you
that
do.
Grosskreutz or was that
His mind.
Grosskreutz.
His mind.
Okay, I'm getting them confused. I'm getting them too confused.
No, Grosskreutz.
I don't know.
Oh God, that testimony was beautiful. The cross examination was one of the most beautiful cross examinations I've ever seen in my entire
That was
life.
that was what got
That was
my
awesome to watch.
ADHD. That stopped
I made
my
a whole
ADHD
video
and got
about
me
that one.
to trials.
Just because it's so rare that you get like the Matlock moment where you get that giant admission.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, and it was
then
so good.
it was so good. It's like,
It was
so
my
he
favorite.
didn't pull the trigger until you were pointing the gun at him again. Yeah. Okay. Great.
It's like
that just
the
went
moment that
away.
you could just the moment
And
you
when
could
they-
just see the like, well, shit, I just lost.
And when they brought up the Facebook post and what he said in the Facebook post,
Oh yeah.
that was beautiful.
Also, it was the moment that his lawyer on the civil suit just went,
God,
shit.
I should
Probably
have
on
been paid in
contingency.
funds.
I would love to. I'm not sure if I've watched that video of yours, Ian, but I would love to if you have a link or if I can find it.
I can track it down. I'll just have to. Yeah, it was. It's a beautiful cross.
It really is.
Just,
It was one of my
it's
favorites of
clean,
all
it-
time.
Well, I
Better-
saw it when because I wasn't really, because I was working, so I didn't really watch YouTube during the Rittenhouse. But then the Depp v. Heard happened, and I had a vague recollection about the UK trial, and I thought this will be interesting to see this big Hollywood star get his ass handed to him. So in the beginning of the trial, and the people who has followed me from the start knows this, that I was Team Amber about a week into the trial. And then, oh fuck.
and then you saw her testify.
Yeah.
Her
And then
testimony
it
was the first thing I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I'm a junior rep, I do labor law. I see injuries all the time. I know what injuries does. I see lost fingers, lost toes, lost limbs, scalps, quicklime, whatever, what things does to. And if you injure your foot or your feet, as she described, and she emphasized it, severely sliced feet.
Yeah.
You can't walk. And it will get infected if you walk barefoot inside of a dirty home or any home. It will get infected. You can't walk within days.
Well,
and
the
2 weeks
other
later,
thing-
she was doing ballet. I mean,
She was-
oh no. Oh
she
no.
was cooking him breakfast the next morning.
The other thing that just struck me about that is like the difference between bottle glass and window glass, because I see these kinds of injuries as well, you know, and like window glass tends to lie flat on a surface. And so it doesn't cut you that badly. You'll get little tiny pieces that will be sort of triangular that'll get, you know, but it won't slash you quite. But you really want to get serious injuries, you walk on bottle glass because it's all curved. And so then when you step on it, your weight is going to be heavier on one side or the other, and it pushes it up like being stabbed. And so that's where you get these deep gouging injuries.
Right.
I'm like, I've seen these injuries.
As
I'm
a
like,
dude
this
that
isn't-
worked in bars for like a decade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
gnarly. Those are
Yeah.
gnarly cuts, y'all.
I still can't get over the glassing laws in Australia. I hadn't heard of this, but I remember at the time I learned that in Australia, glassing is a significant crime, which is like when you specifically break glass or a bottle and you use that to injure or harm somebody, you can get up to 20 years in Australian penitentiary. And that was something that I think that was the reason why when Johnny Depp went to get treatment for his injuries, he specifically did not say that it was his wife who did that to him, because if he had, she could have faced significant prison time.
Yeah.
I bet he's regretting that right now.
That was my understanding. Yeah, right? Oh my god. I mean that, and I'd never heard of that before, but apparently people do that in Australia a lot. They, you know,
So
they'll
like
break
throwing
glasses.
bottles?
Or like if you break a glass, use it in a bar fight, you know, throw a bottle, break it on, you know, the edge of a counter and then use it to, you know, kind of.
Yeah. If you
kind of
smash a bottle and gouge somebody with it, or if you hit somebody with like a glass or a bottle, If you see the train spotting moment when
Yep.
Begbie takes the
Begbie.
glass and
Yep.
whips it over and it hits somebody, it's like
Precisely.
that's jail time in a big way.
Yeah.
Because
all of
that's
that
a different
stuff.
kind of assault. That's a very
Yeah.
violent, very dangerous kind of assault that could absolutely kill somebody.
And it was happening all the time. Like it was becoming sort of the preferred way of getting into a bar fight. So it was like, maybe we'll. The scars that you get off of that are horrific.
Yeah.
Like if somebody smashes a glass in your face, it just rips you to bits. So
I mean, in the 70s and 80s, when old Western movies or modern Western movies was popular, always breaking of glass, and you saw, of course it happens in fights, and all of a sudden people realized, shit, that stuff does damage.
Although what's hilarious is the number of times breaking a bottle over something to stab somebody is a risky activity. And I've seen a number of situations where guys in a bar fight, and he grabs a beer bottle, smashes it, and ends up going to the hospital with his hand splashed to shit. And it's like, whoops, that didn't just break where you wanted it to.
I knew a dude that got smacked in the face with a glass, and it messed him up bad. He lost vision in his eye before it was all said and done.
Yeah,
I knew a man in a relationship with a woman who was abusive, and I asked about it, trying to figure out kind of what's going on here. He's like, well, there was a time she went to the hospital. So I was like, okay, what happened? And he's like, she brought a box cutter into our bed. And I was like, okay.
Kinky.
She accidentally cut herself on the box cutter. He had to take her to the hospital. Shit happens.
Oh, and I bet they asked him all the domestic violence or asked her all the domestic violence questions.
Absolutely.
We're like, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, she cut herself threatening him? Or...
She did. Yeah.
Okay.
She was angry about something. She brought the box cutter into their bed, and it turned into a whole. You can imagine.
Yeah. Those does damage.
Yikes.
Well, most things with
may I
an
just say
edge
that women
does damage,
prefer
but
women prefer blades. Men generally
More
don't.
personal.
Chicks are freaking nuts.
If
Holy
I
crap,
come
don't date
with me
us.
with a small blade, I have bigger, and I bet Ian has even bigger.
Jesus, Mary wept. Stay
There was
the
a
hell
trend
away
in
from
Canada
us.
for a
Jesus
while
Christ.
of I think my
Every
swords
guy-
are in that room and my kukri's in the other room.
Well, that's
So,
it. I'm
Do I
glad
have to
I'm
go get
married.
my blade?
I've got a shotgun right over there, but I'm not bringing it out on stream.
No,
Come on, Ian. Ian, what were you saying?
Yeah, my tomahawk is over there on the shelf.
There was a trend where I am of women carrying box cutters and slashing each other's faces with them.
Jesus.
It's and it was specifically intended that it creates permanent scars.
Yeah.
Right?
Catty.
So it's
Yeah, because it's cuts so deep, and if you do it in an angle, it really messes up. And,
Yeah, that's very catty.
Well, they do it in prison for that reason. You can't get rid of that scar. So if somebody's a snitch in prison, they slice you on the face, so now everybody in prison knows you're a snitch.
Okay.
Yeah. You have that famous Irish actor with a lot of interesting cars.
yeah, he
From
got
Anarchy.
he got
the
Glasgow
Smiley.
smile.
Yeah, he got Smiley.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he became a famous actor instead, so he's doing okay. He was in
Chibs. It was Chibs from Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, but he's done a lot of movies, and he's a great actor. But he has the past that almost makes Machete look.
He was also in Braveheart.
Yeah, he was.
He ends up in lots of things where he's sort of a character actor, just because he ended up making that work for him. But
I mean,
he's
he
also
did
a
have
really
to work
good
with
actor.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor. That dude's impressive.
But he's passed as an Irish, and the way he got those. Now, rumor is it was in a Northern Irish fight, and in prison fight, and
Count Dankula did a video on those scars one time.
Yeah.
And
I need to watch more of
It's
him.
not because the story kind of changes throughout the years as he tells it, but the story
Most
I've heard, it
stories
was
do.
a Northern Irish prison with an Irish guy with Northern Irish and English other prisoners, and that's a really bad idea. But the story changes, and He got the scars, and yeah. And I would not fight that guy because he looks like he can do damage.
The story changing is really perfect. It's you want to know how I got these scars, and then tell different stories.
Yeah.
It's the full Joker story.
Yeah,
like
and it turns out
it's those popsicles.
He stepped on skies
Midsummer.
and it went up. I don't know. No, I don't know. But who's that? Oh, I keep forgetting his name. Machete.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah,
Danny Trejo, who has Trejo Tacos. They have a really excellent burrito.
Yeah,
that I'm very
He's also
proud of.
tiny. He's like 5'2" or something. He's really little.
No way.
He might be a little taller than that, but he's really small.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got to look up his height.
7 or something.
Yeah.
No, I
No,
mean, Hollywood is really good at distorting heights.
Yeah.
Look at Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You'd think Tom Cruise was like a normal man size.
Face.
I mean, Tom Cruise is 6 inches shorter than Nicole Kidman. You have never seen him lower than eye to eye with Nicole Kidman.
In Eyes Wide Shut, I'm pretty sure they gave him a little apple crate to sit on or stand on. That's what they do. They give you a little apple crate, and you just.
When I was
you just pop on
12,
top
I
of it.
thought that I was sitting in the
How'd
theater
that go,
for
Chandler?
Hercules, and it happened to be the theater for Eyes Wide Shut, and the couple behind me was like, "What are you here to see, sweetie?" And I said, "This is the theater for Hercules." She's like, "No, this is not the theater for Hercules." And they shuffled me on out because I'm glad I didn't see Tom Cruise in the nude because I need to be able to sleep.
Oh, have you ever
Because
seen
I don't need
it?
to see fun-sized Tom Cruise.
I took a Kubrick class in community college because I originally wanted to be a film major, and I remember watching Eyes Wide Shut and coming to the end of it and just being like, what the fuck was that? Like, what was the purpose? What was the point of that movie? It was so absurd.
The purpose of that movie was watching Nicole Kidman's boobs.
Yeah. I just
Sign me up.
that was my favorite part. Let me see. So Danny Trejo, he's 79, and he was in From Dusk Till Dawn, and that was definitely a moment for me. I watched that when I was 8, and I'm not going to tell you why, but
Probably
it
the
was-
same reason I watched it.
it was life-changing.
Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek is
Yeah.
hot. Look, I don't swing that way, but Selma Hayek is hot.
We've got this kind of pussy and that kind of pussy. That was a hot movie.
Smoking hot.
But I can't
Oh my
find his
gosh, I
height yet.
remember, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, did they actually say that? I was in
Yes, they
Catholic
did.
school. I was like, oh,
100%.
Twitter
So
posted
Danny
about
Trejo,
that.
I cannot find his height.
I
But I
watched
want to know.
Cheech and Chong on video release.
Oh, good stuff.
Gone.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not. No, but I watched one of these. I can't remember the actual movie back in the 80s when they did the Cheech and Chong
Up in Smoke.
again. Yeah, or something of that sort. And it made no sense whatsoever. But I was laughing.
Probably because you weren't a stoner at the time. Nicholas, had you ever smoked weed? Had you ever gotten high? I mean,
I am a Swedish citizen, and as such, I do not touch illegal substances.
so you'd never gotten high, so you didn't.
Come
Because
visit
it's
Canada where it's legal, and we can fix that.
And,
I mean, in America,
and,
I had gotten
in
high every
Sweden,
single day.
Since June 1st, it is everything over 1 gram is considered in possession with intent to sell, with an obligatory 6 months in jail. So I have never touched illegal substances.
Me neither.
Come visit.
There you go.
And
I've
with
never
that,
been high. I
should
don't know what it's like.
I've got to step out. I'm gonna just get ready for my stream, and I will. See you guys
Good
later.
to see you, buddy.
It was a lovely
Thank you so much
surprise having
for
you
showing up.
in.
Thank you.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah. Cheers.
I will say that I have never partaken, but if it was legal in my state, I might try it.
I've done so many illegal things. So many.
Let's not talk about that on stream, Chandler.
As I am a good Christian and I cosplay as a Pentecostal, I have never visited the smoke shops that are alongside every highway and byway of Indiana. And I have never ever gone to Kentucky and possibly the place where they filmed. Oh gosh, what was that? anyway, where the banjos are and bought
Deliverance.
kratom. I have never ever done that. So
Dun,
Wow.
dun, dun,
amen.
dun,
And
dun, 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 dun. The theme song of Kentucky.
Careful, I have most of my family is originally from there, but my generation, the one before, was the one that moved up.
so you
Well,
moved up to
I'm,
Indiana. That was your
I'm,
glow up.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. That was actually that was my grandparents.
I'm
moved
That was
from
somebody
there.
else, totally, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally believe you guys are.
Yeah, I grew up in
I'm
what's
so sorry.
commonly known as Swedish redneck country, and
You've mentioned this, yes.
just to make an example, one or two of you have heard this before, but it is an example about redneck meets Florida man moment in my neck of the woods.
Near the Arctic.
Newspaper article that said, "Man in leopard skin skirt
I remember this.
caught masturbating carrying a canoe next to a recycling station." Here's the thing.
He was having a good time, man.
Listen, when the mood takes you, the mood takes you. I mean, you know, those trees are pretty erect. What can I say?
Yeah. Here's the thing that is an interesting story in itself. But here's the thing. That was about 30 to 40 minutes from where I grew up, in a part of the country that is sparsely populated. So chances are I know him, or I'm related to him.
Well, I mean, if it was sparsely populated, can you really blame him? It's not like there are people around. You know, you're having a nice moment in the wilderness. You're feeling a little turned on. You know, there's fresh air.
I see no crime.
I can't say I've ever been there personally.
Yeah, it's a victimless crime. If you want to wank in, you know, the middle of the forest, if you wank in the middle of the forest, who cares?
It's better than on the subway. That's for sure.
When the cops caught him, he was still carrying.
If you wank in Walmart, then that's a problem.
And,
If you wank on your way from one borough to the next in New York, that's a problem. But in the open air in Sweden, who cares?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, why is the cop over there in his wank area? I feel like that cop's really over
maybe
there.
that's why you charge him.
Well, if you wear a small leopard skirt that is more or less a belt with the and carrying a canoe,
Maybe the cop's jealous.
questions are asked.
Can I? I'm going to be a total party pooper.
Yeah.
Mrs. Valhalla just got home. Let me get off and go hang out with the missus for a little while.
No worries.
No worries.
I'm going to leave it to. I'm going to send everybody off to Runkel in about 20 minutes or so. So
sounds good. That
getting
gives
drunk
me a chance
for
to
free.
spend time with Mr. Mo.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Nicholas, for having me. Thank you all for the great conversation. And most importantly, chat, thank you for watching us, because without you, we're just a bunch of weirdos talking to a
chat.
computer.
This one's for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Love y'all.
mostly for everyone. Yes.
Yes. Now, where were we? We were talking about canoes and erections.
Yes, we
should
were.
we change the subject?
The things we always
And
talk
family
about,
trees
canoes
that
and
does not
erections.
fork. And
Kayaks and vaginas next. I mean, you know.
I'm rather down for anything.
Let's see here. Two interesting facts that if I just say it separately, it sounds really, really weird.
Okay.
When my mother and father got married, they discovered they were born in the same congregation. Also in a very, very low populated area. They met at a mental
Did you
asylum.
have to do the Iceland thing where you made sure you weren't related before you got married?
Yeah. Now, as it turns out, no, they're not related, and they met at a mental asylum where my mother was a nurse and my father was a bouncer or a inlet guy.
I was going to say a patient, but you know.
Nope. So in itself,
Doesn't matter.
what? And so they met at a mental asylum and they were born at the same place.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that just sounds like a really interesting setup, and then you go into the minutia. It's like, okay, never mind, we're cool.
There's a meet cute there that's got a Hollywood moment. written into it.
Yeah, but then you ruin it by him not being a patient.
Sorry. Oh.
Nice.
Carbonized. Yeah, that does stuff. And yeah.
You're the host.
Ooh.
What can I say?
And don't tell sober me, but I bought something.
Oh.
Don't tell sober me, but I'm pretty sure I picked a puppy.
Oh boy.
Okay, we got to see the puppy, and then
I don't
the
know
purchase.
how to do that.
But perhaps, well, when in whatever order that comes up naturally. That's a cute puppy.
Look at your puppy.
It's a him, and I'm gonna name it because see, we already have a bender, and I love Futurama, so I'm either gonna name it.
Yes.
Well,
Big
see,
fan
I
of
was gonna name
Futurama.
it Roberto, but I think, and I can't
After
name it
Bender's legal name?
Hedonism. Well, I can't name it Hedonism Bot, which is upsetting. So I'll probably name it Fry.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean...
anything I can put Bert on the end of, because when they're bad, it's, Thorbert or Salbert.
Why not
Frybert?
Zoidberg?
Oh my god, yes!
Yes.
That's a very good
You
question.
are my hero.
Yes,
How are we not
okay.
related? How are we not friends? Did we just become best friends? Because I think
Yes, we did.
Mo, you have no idea how much. I mean, I was literally like falling asleep to Futurama last night. I'm a very big fan of Futurama.
I love Futurama. I'm actually going to do reviews of the new episodes. I have so many videos that I need to do, and so many things that I'm supposed to be doing. If I could just figure out technology.
I cannot figure out technology. I switched over to Firefox and realized that that was my problem with my audio. Now I cannot share my screen, so I can't bring things up, and it is a problem. I need an
switched
adult.
To,
I need an
switched
adult.
So what I need to do is I just need to get famous enough to get an assistant that knows how to do the techie things. And I'm like, if the high school would just lend me their AV club.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Although there are better people out there for sure that I'm certain could help you out with what you need.
Probably.
See, I don't have a hat. Okay, I went to Texas, and when I went to Texas, Jeff and Hayden were like, they were like, you're supposed to get here on Thursday. And we were like, no, we're getting here on Friday, Flux and I. And so Jeff and Hayden were like, we're getting hats without you. And that was very rude. So I don't have a hat.
That is so mean of them.
It was incredibly rude. I love them to death. We had the best time. I had so much fun. But fuck them both, because I wanted a Miller hat, and they got Miller hats, and I did not. And that was very rude. So I love them. I love them forever. I love them forever. But I want a hat.
I need to find where Flux got the Killdozer hat, because I must get one. Because every day I'm like, what would Killdozer guy do? He's really replaced Jesus almost as, I mean, not sacrilegiously, but I'm just saying,
what would Killdozer
when your
do?
homeowners association has gone too far, when your small business is, facing all of these regulations, and
when
you
the
don't know
principal biddy has become too much. I mean,
just
what would
mow 'em down.
You have a Ford Transit. You can learn how to weld. What would Killdozer Man do?
Mow those
Tread on them.
motherfuckers down. Yes.
He didn't.
Exactly.
He didn't hurt anyone but himself. I'm just saying, the man is a national treasure. God damn it.
I completely agree, and that is why he deserved a hat. And so I don't know if you guys saw
And a
my moment
holiday.
did you see my moment with the Killdozer hat? It was truly a sublime moment.
I need to figure out how to work Twitter. I can't. I need to figure out how to work Twitter.
Okay,
I can help you cover that one.
I can send you a link to the moment
will.
that I had with okay, it was Jeff's Killdozer hat, but it was a beautiful moment. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
Send me a link.
I cannot
Look,
underscore
seriously,
how much fun we
Kaiser,
had.
we need to get famous enough that we can monetize going to this place and sending enough money for nannies to help our significant others watch the children, because
Okay,
I
but
think that's and the therapy that they'll need after we leave them alone.
I must let you know there are a lot of weirdos. It's important to have a good group.
Have you met us?
Yes. But there are weirdos who are weirdier than you. I'm just letting you know. So
I've been to anime conventions, quite often. I've been to a few.
One of my bucket lists is to MC the furry convention dance off.
Okay. All right, so maybe you're a little deeper in than I am, and perhaps I underestimated my ability to teach you. But
I've been to Gen Con many, many times too.
I did go to one anime convention, and I survived it, and so I feel like I have the authority to advise others. Let me see where my Killdozer photo is.
Oh crap! I am so drunk. Oh no, I
Who
did not
isn't
eat anything
at this
today.
point?
I was so Twitter-pated with this whole stupid drama, and people are so dumb, and I hate them so much.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. What stupid drama are we talking about? Oh, I found it.
Oh, just
Killdozer.
the stupid.
There's always something, isn't there?
Oh no, I was just talking about my stupid personal drama. So I didn't really eat as I should have. So I've been drinking on an empty stomach, and I am drunker than generally I do get drunk.
Happens.
Oh, hell, the chicken pope.
You know, you make more sense than the current pope. So God bless you.
So Dirk says, Chandler, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much drunker than me are you? Well, I don't see any grammatical errors, Dirk, so I'm not sure. It's a good question, though.
You have a stream, Shizzy Wisna? I did not know you had a stream. That is awesome for you.
Oh, Shizzy's awesome. I love Shizzy so much.
You know, I probably would, but I need to hang out with Mr. Mo. He has been out of town.
I don't think he means today.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Dolly, for being my semi not drunk seeing eye dog.
I love that.
Cheers.
Have you resolved your school board issues?
Well, see, what I plan to do is be kind to her face, but then work to salt the earth and take her job behind her back.
This is why you are my sister, my twin sister. We
I'm
have so
telling
much
you,
in common.
we are from the same weird fertility lab that they got all the MK Ultra from. Are we Ted Kaczynski's lost children? I'm just asking for a friend.
We could be. I'm serious.
Because we both like to live in the forest.
You have to write a term paper and show me the structure and the way that you set your sources. If you have Chicago or MLA format, I might think a certain way about it. If you do an APA format, I don't know, you might be... Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it. I just have to see the way that you write a term paper.
Listen, I'm not going to write a term paper. I will plagiarize a term paper.
Atta girl.
Have you guys ever seen... Did you ever see... There's that
Again,
thing about
I
how
have
they call
boobs.
Ted
I think you've
Kaczynski.
forgotten this thing. I'm using my female privilege.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
And I'm riding
I
her
get that.
coattails when she makes it big.
There was that amazing, it was on Netflix, and it was this documentary that was done about Ted Kaczynski and the way that they use linguistics to catch him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the
have the
phrasing.
cake and eat it too.
Have your cake and eat it
but
too. Yeah, exactly.
I watched it because I'm a nerd, and I love that stuff.
I do too. I love anything that has to do with linguistics, because linguistics is a subfield of anthropology, and anthropology was my college major, and linguistics was the field that I excelled in the most, and so that area was fascinating. I loved watching that, and the way that they figured out, this is how students were taught to write term papers at Harvard in this year. They were able to narrow it down and figure out who he was, and that was really fucking cool. The guy that figured it out, he was from Philadelphia, and he was like, we need to find our equivalent of water, like the way they say water. It was a fantastic little miniseries. I highly recommend it, but that, just brilliant detective work as far as linguistics is concerned.
Yeah,
And I am
also kind of.
I've
funny
had
how-
6 shots, so I'm definitely very intoxicated.
Oh
so don't
no,
mind.
I am so drunk. You have no idea. I have not been this drunk
She has had
since I've
3
had
Bud
last
Lights.
hit.
Oh no.
Speaking of Ted Kaczynski, wasn't it also like when the FBI showed up in the town, like they actually went to kind of ask where's Ted Kaczynski, and showed up at the town diner, and they're like, why are you looking for Ted? He ain't the craziest one here.
Oh really? Is that so? I
gotta remember
I'm
where it
telling
was.
you
My
guys,
dad remembers
off
that
the
one.
gridders, the problem with the people that don't, you don't understand the amount of people that are off the grid and against the anti-government, the numbers that there are innumerable. You don't understand the amount of people that are full on Dale Gribble plus. Like what they have is like, it makes Rambo look ridiculous. I'm not joking you. I am drunk, but this makes sense in my head.
No, we were just talking today. So earlier on Laid Back News, I think it was Steve of Southern Law. He was talking about the parallels between the Trump indictment, the most recent indictment, and he was also discussing he was making it sort of reminiscent of how they made a federal case of the shooting of Vicki Weaver in the Ruby Ridge situation. And I thought that was very interesting because I would have never thought of that. And legally, it's fascinating because you have this situation where you have a man who, he shot Vicki Weaver. He was a sniper. He was doing his due diligence as an officer. But he assassinated a private citizen in the Ruby Ridge incident. And then Steve was tying this in to the Trump indictment in the most fascinating way. I really want to go back and rewatch it because I want to fully understand exactly what he was saying.
I think we need to look at that.
But for some reason, I feel like I have to bring it up because it was one of the most interesting legal parallels that I've heard. And that's something that my brain always does. I'm always watching for the way that certain cases correlate to other cases. And that was something that I never would have thought of, especially because I'm not as legally versed. And so that was fascinating. And I would really like to look into that further.
Well, here's the problem. Trump, like him or not, he is the avatar of the everyman. And the problem is, like him or not, again, and I hate being a semi-conservative Republican-ish, libertarian-ish, small government person. I hate having to say, look, I hate his personality, but I would rather have a candidate where I don't have to say this, and this, but the problem is that what most people want is to throw a Molotov cocktail to the establishment. We don't care anymore. We don't care anymore whether he says bad, naughty words, if he's orange, if he's red, if he's green, if he runs away and joins a circus. We want the establishment burned down to the ground. We are tired. We are done. We want someone who speaks for us. We are tired of it. We pay the taxes. We are getting trod on. We are getting stomped on. And we are getting told every 5 minutes that the country is great, that we are doing great, and we are dumb, and we are stupid, and we are rubes, and to tell our boys to sit down and shut up, and our girls are fine, and, stand up, sit down, shut up, and that, girls don't need no man, shut up, no women,
feminism will
women
save
are
them
turning
all.
40 and they don't have a man to stand up, and our men are killing themselves because they have no lives and nothing. You have 40-year-olds that are still paying for college.
I bought sober me a cane with a wolf head.
Ooh,
Okay, I love
Nice.
that. That is fantastic.
Why does it have a saber in it too?
I will not say because those would be illegal in Sweden, so this is a perfectly normal cane.
That is a perfectly normal, awesome cane. I love
That's
it.
a very nice, very totally normal
Now,
cane.
do you have a fedora with a feather in it for no reason?
No, but I have
Salvador Dali
a
had a cane.
chicken hat that has feather.
I like it.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I broke my ankle a couple of years ago, and that led to me walking strange. So
Really?
my meniscus got a bit torn last year, and it got, physical therapy and everything, but apparently I kept walking a bit wrong. So now my other knee is, yeah,
if you mess
yay
up
for
your
getting
gait, you're...
fucking old. So subscribe to me so I can sit down and stream.
Everybody subscribe to Nicholas. He deserves it. He's put in the time, he's put in the effort, he's put in the energy. I remember the first time that I met Nicholas, and he matched Legal Vices shot for shot because he's that much of a fucking Viking. And that was, well, I'm not going to say it was incredibly sexy, but, you know, for everybody else here, yes, it was.
And I drank beer
You
in
know, I
between
remember
because
I
it
thought
took
I
too
wouldn't
long
like you
between
because
shots.
you were a union lawyer, and I thought, oh my God, I don't know about unions.
Right.
But then I thought drinking a whole bunch, I mean, so.
All I'm saying is it deserves a subscription. You all should subscribe if you are not already subscribed.
If you are not already subscribed to Viking Santa Claus, what is wrong with you and why? What is going on in your life?
Obviously.
Seriously.
Go ahead and hit the subscribe
Get
button
help.
twice.
Subscribe. Hit the subscribe
don't
button.
hit it twice.
Get help.
All right, people.
Don't.
All right. I don't know what we're doing here, but apparently this is happening. So.
And I'm currently.
Had a girl.
I know, and I have to get up
trial.
at 7:30 to help a kid go to cross country. This is gonna be awesome.
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to
How
see
magical
planes
is
fly
that?
into an airfield tomorrow, so that way I can eat pancakes.
I hate pancakes.
I don't know how those two things go together, but airplanes and pancakes don't seem to go together, but awesome.
They
for
go
you.
together really amazingly because there is a fly-in pancake breakfast tomorrow at our local
For
airfield.
anybody who
How
likes,
in the hell do you fly in pancakes?
I support you, but waffles are superior, and that's just a fact.
Racist.
Waffles
I'm there
are
for the
superior.
planes more than anything, but yeah. So there's an
sound
airfield
fucking
actually just
excellent
over
right
here by
now.
my house, and there's like a local little group that keeps it up and running. It's just like a grass field, but it's big enough that they call it an airport.
You know, I have
And,
never
yeah.
understood Waffle House, but now I understand it that I'm drunk. Waffles sound fucking excellent
45
right now.
minutes north of me is
scared
a
of them.
pancake barn.
See, the syrup gets trapped in the little waffle,
Nicholas, this is
That's why you
unfair.
take a
This
knife
is
to the
food
middle
porn.
of your pancake.
Nobody brought up my killdozer selfie, but Ross does is excellent.
I mentioned it in the
This is not
chat.
fair, Nicholas. You suck so many balls. Oh,
While I will admit that waffles are superior, my
Yes.
wife loves pancakes, so and they're easier for me to make. So I usually end up making pancakes, and
Bro,
you
I
know,
use
stick with
straight-
what your wife likes.
yeah,
you gotta get a waffle iron. Seriously,
I have
mean,
one. I just
It's
Now-
just as easy, if not easier, than pancakes, because all you have to do is pour the batter in there, you close it, and then waffle. Instant waffle.
see. I
I'm
don't
not
like
always
I don't like the
drunk
waffle
playing
irons
in
though.
Lisco.
Okay,
No,
if I need to go out and I need to buy the waffle iron that I want, and the waffle iron I want they don't make anymore, and they haven't made them for over 70 years.
Oh my god, just buy one from Target, seriously. Any waffle maker will do. You don't have to
I
buy
have
Unicorn,
one.
thank you for
I just
gifting
don't like it.
memberships.
Yeah, thank you, Unicorn 11, for
procrastinating.
gifting 5
Awesome.
memberships, and
Oh.
that would be during
Ooh, I want
today,
grapes.
during the streams for 2 days, I
I
believe.
am not always
25
drunk.
memberships Unicorn has
That is
gifted.
mean, Brandon.
To Shizzy Wisnot, Blue Hair Bible Lady.
I'm getting more.
Wow,
Lord,
that's,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is a good handle. You need to get yourself a channel. That is an amazing handle.
Yes.
That's almost like genitals.
Yeah, that is an amazing YouTube name. Blue Hair Bible Lady. That's amazing.
Isn't that special?
That's special. Oh my god, you do it much better than me.
Could it
and-
be?
Yeah,
Say-
and Kylie Robert,
Oh my gosh, yes, you
Kylie
need the
Robertson,
wig. I
Melee
don't know
MC, and
why.
Nisha. Yeah, but Jesus, Blue Hair Bible Lady, you need to get a channel. Seriously, lady, you need to get a channel.
Oh my gosh. Does anyone want to come and make me waffles? Seriously, I want some waffles now. Mr. Mo is probably not going to make me waffles. This is going to be awful.
Thank you, Unicorn. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Unicorn.
Much. Yeah, thank you so much. Cheers to
everyone.
Someone.
I have
Yeah.
drank more than I probably ever should online.
Just drink some water.
But having been accused of being an OnlyFans model.
Did they really?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I
Dali, you
I
missed
offered to
it.
write
I
her
was heavily implied that I locked my children in the basement because I was nude streaming.
Yeah. And I was thinking about just sending them an email. Hi, I'm Nick from Swedish Trial Watch. I've heard that you have a case with a principal that does this, this, and this. Do you have any commentary? I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Guys, support Mo. Put her link in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Support Mo,
Yeah,
support
so
Chandler,
I had
support
to send
Ali,
my
support
channel
Kaiser.
to the CPS lady so that she
Seriously?
knows that I'm not nude on YouTube, which was something I never thought I'd have to say until today.
Clearly, somebody doesn't
Chandler,
watch
muted,
YouTube because then they
muted
know that
Chandler.
YouTube doesn't do that.
Well, I get
Technically.
Still
I
muted.
haven't only y'all. I can barely work StreamYard. I can't
Still
work
muted.
OnlyFans and Rumble and
There.
digital
No,
and
muted.
Chatterbait and all the other things. I don't even know how to work those things.
Oh, I said the sexiest things when I was muted. I'm so sorry. That was terrible for everybody. You all missed out.
Well, Mo, you definitely got a new sub from me, so there you go.
Thank you so much. We will have to chat about living in rural Indiana and all of the current events and pop culture stuff, because I definitely want to talk about that stuff. Because
I was gonna ask
I
about that.
usually I do a third. I haven't done it in a while, but I need to get back on it. I do a Thursday stream where I basically do my weekly show live.
Woo!
Or my daily show where I do Real Talk Live. It's REEL. So
Ooh.
sorry.
Real talk.
Yeah. Yeah, as in like film reel.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
can't
got-
spell or talk at this point, so you know.
Kaiser and I have collaborated on some really compelling streams where we've talked about what's going on in the film industry, especially what's going on with sort of like with Disney and with Lucasfilm, with all of the woke bullshit that is permeating that sort of area. And
as a boy mom, it is soul crushing because boys have nothing to aspire to. If you take them to anything, y'all, I know it was a dumpster fire of a movie critics wise, but Shazam actually had really good boy role model messages in it.
Yeah.
The second Shazam.
Yeah. And then they made Shazam 2 and it all went
No,
to the
Shazam
shitters.
2 actually had really good boy role model stuff in it. It had self-sacrifice. It had, admitting you have no idea what the hell you're doing, accepting wisdom from people smarter than you, accepting that, you're going to have to make smart choices and self-sacrifice. Parents were not assholes or dumb as F. I mean, apart from it having the Zegler, phantom of the soul of anything, it actually had a really good message. It had self-sacrifice, using masculinity as, sacrifice of others, protection of family. If it had been marketed better, it would have been a great movie. It definitely had those values of protective masculinity that would have been great.
Yeah. And I think I was on Cheesy Wisnot a couple of days ago.
I'm just so drunk I can't even explain it.
And we were talking about alpha, fake alpha versus real alpha, and I told about my dad. And I said, it's not as alpha if you believe in the concept. It's not what you receive, it is what you turn away. And for instance, my father is highly educated in his field. Then my mother got sick and he turned down promotions. He was offered to go abroad to start up factories. He could have been a leading figure in his field and made a fuck ton of money. And he turned it all down to be with his wife and his family. That's an alpha.
Well, and that's what the boys are missing. The boys are missing that masculinity is protective. It's using your strength for good. It's a shield and a sword. And you have to give them something. And if you make every girl a girl boss and you tell boys to shit sit down and shut the hell up, then you've got a bunch of boys with a fuck ton of testosterone, or well, a little testosterone, depending on who you ask, you know, that have nothing to do with it other than, you know, sit down, shut the hell up. Then they're going to go and use it for all sorts of wrong reasons. It's retarded. I'm sorry.
I have so many feelings about this because I feel like masculinity is always represented in media as being a negative, toxic, unhealthy thing.
Yeah.
There is no outlet whatsoever for masculinity to be healthy, for it to be positive.
No.
And that really sucks for the 50% of the population that are born male, because they are pretty much taught, if you have a dick, then you lose in life.
Well, and femininity can be so toxic. I'm sorry, but the misandry that goes on is ridiculous. And until I became a boy mom, it did not occur to me until I became a boy mom. And I don't want my boys to go to college. Like, that's how bad it's become, because I don't want them to meet that one girl that gets drunk and has regretful sex, and then they are taken up to a kangaroo court. I'm like, go to school, go get welding training, go become a mechanic, and stay the hell away from, you know, liberal arts girls.
I agree. There is
Absolutely.
I'm going to share something personal. I grew up with a girl who claims that something very bad happened to her, and I'm not going to dispute her version of events. She has now taken it upon herself to fight for every person who makes a Me Too claim. And she has an entire channel devoted to this, and she claims to be like Hollywood's, you know, like she's like the person, apparently, that is doing that sort of thing. And I find it really problematic because all of the allegations are unfounded. There's no sort of conviction. Nothing has been proven in court. It's all he said, she said. And I'm sorry, but we can never really fully calculate how many false accusations there are. You want to think that they're minimal, but you can't really know. And so as many people as there are who make accurate claims, you have to be very careful, because a lot of people are accused of things that they did not do. And I think it's incredibly important, especially for young men, to be careful. And unfortunately, being careful doesn't necessarily get you where you want to go. So that's something I'm really serious about, but that's maybe a topic for a stream that isn't a drinking stream, because I have a lot to say.
It's definitely one of those streams that we need to talk about when we're not drunk, but it's changing the way we deal with each other as a society, because you have men who are afraid to date. You have women who are like, where are the marriageable men? You have silenced and told them that they suck all the donkey balls from their entire life. And, you know, told them to sit down, shut up, and be quiet, and shut up, and you suck all the donkey balls.
The
and
future
you have
is
nothing.
female. That's the message. The message that is sent is the future is female, because it's meant to counteract a different message that the future was supposed to be male previously. So all the little boys are going to be growing up thinking, where are my role models? Who's going to vouch for me?
The boys are
going to guide
taught in a school system where they will not thrive. They do not learn in a teaching model that is you know, lecture based. That's why men do not thrive until they get to college, where it's more lecture based, and then they can do self, you know, teaching and get to testing.
Absolutely. And it's so hard when it's like, I've seen this so much, and it's like, until you have children who are male, a lot of women don't really understand this or recognize this. And I've had people ask me that question because I've been called an MRA darling or whatever, just because I stand up for men. And the fact of the matter is that it's very clear that men don't get what women get in society today. And I don't think that it's hard for people to see that, but I think that women really enjoy the benefits or the perks or whatever, and they just don't speak out about it. So until you have male children, maybe you don't really have a personal investment in it. But I'm glad when I meet women who do, because it's very clear that men need more than we're giving them.
And here's the thing, I don't know where I would have been if I didn't have my dad. Because as early teens, I was extremely bullied. And I might get into that on another stream. But then I grew, like half a foot everywhere, and then I became extremely aggressive instead.
Everywhere.
If I hadn't had my dad, where would I have been to teach me, okay, you need to control yourself? Where would I have been?
You
In jail.
need that natural male aggression that says this is the stop, or you will meet something. Every man needs a guy to kick his ass. You need that stopgap that says, if you come against me, I will kick your ass back. Now, a single mom can do her best, but she's not going to whoop your ass like another dude is going to whoop your ass to the, concrete.
If you at 14 are 3 inches taller than your mother, you won't take that seriously. If you grow up like me, now 10 years ago, my dad was still taller than me. Now he's not because, well, age shrinks. But no matter my size, I knew if he wanted, he could kick my ass if he wanted to.
You want to hear a funny story? There was actually one time whenever my dad had to do that. He had to lay down the law one time with me. And you know what? I've told the story a few times to a few people in private, and they're like horrified because they know my dad. And they're like, he would never do that. I'm like, he did. And I cannot thank him enough for doing it. Because it really, I mean, it was a check. It was checks and balances. And I was 17. It was middle of summer. It was actually 4th of July. And we had a big project we were doing. We had a whole bunch of bricks that were getting out of my grandparents' old, farm. And so we were loading them up in the truck. It's 90 degrees, like ridiculous humidity. It's miserable outside. And we're out there for hours. And I mean, we're tired. We're, uncomfortable and all that. Me and my brother are just complaining the entire time. And I know that me and my dad, that I was butting heads with my dad, being a typical 17-year-old and all that kind of stuff. And so at one point, I think he had just kind of like had enough with me. And he just like, look, you need to straighten up, you need to listen, and you need to stop this. The sooner we get this stuff done, the sooner we can go home. I'm not asking you to do anything too crazy, but I'm asking you to help me and pull your weight. I'm like, okay, fine. And I just remember, because we grew up in a pretty, let's just call it conservative religious household.
I
Mo
can't
gets what I'm
imagine
talking about.
around here.
So I dropped, it's like I was moving some stuff. I was so pissed. I was in a mood. And trust me, I was making sure everybody knew about it. And at one point I moved, and I dropped a brick straight on my thumb. And I just jumped up and shouted, "God damn it." And my dad, I never saw this coming. But I sure as hell felt it. Cold cocked me across the jaw, knocked me to my ass. And I remember just sitting there staring up at him, and I had never been, look, my dad is an amazing guy. Fantastic. The best dude ever. And I'll tell you what. Yeah, he was never, he when he did punishment, he was always fair with it. He had never hit me. Never like that, ever. And he just stood there over me, and I was just like, the F just happened. And I'm just sitting there completely reeling. And he just looks down at me and goes, "Don't ever let me catch you saying those words out of your mouth again. Not in my presence. Not in my house. Let's get to work." And he just went right back to it. And I just sat there, and I was like, holy shit, that just happened. And I got up, and I got to work. I didn't complain a bit the rest of the day. And you know what? I look back on it years later, and I'm like, every time I got really pissed off, every time I thought that there was some really nasty shit going on, and like I didn't agree with what, my folks were doing or whatnot, I remembered that moment, and I went, he set me straight.
Yep. And this was before I have a similar experience because this was before Sweden made it illegal to physically punish your children. I was mid-teens, something like that. I've told this before, I think. And somehow Dad had to drive me home because I'm my mid-teens and drunk in rural bumfuck Sweden. And he said something of the sort, "Do you know how disappointed your mother will be with you?" And I said back, "Who cares?" And then I woke up at home. He knocked me the fuck out. That's the only time. And then he took care of me, carried me in, put me in bed and everything. Never disrespected my mother. No. He just needed that one time.
That's it. It only took one time, and you got it.
Yeah. And I also believe that's the difference between if you continuously slap your kids around to teach them, it won't teach them. Keep calm,
brother.
try to teach them. I don't care what religion, just try to teach them the right way. But if you step over the line, put them back to the right side of the line.
That's the
Once
thing.
should be enough.
If Mr. Mo is the disciplinarian, I will say that I tend to be more emotional, so with my history, I tend to let Mr. Mo take care of it because he's less emotional. When he disciplines, he tends to be more logical, and I tend to be more Twitter-pated, which is not good when you're... So it's definitely, if you have a parent, single or not, and you definitely are generally level-headed, if you have that child that just pushes you over the line, if you have that thing that pushes you over, it's definitely a wake-up call because you can tell when you have just completely like, holy crap, I have definitely gone over single, double parent, whatever. You have like, oh crap, I have done crossed a damned line.
But if you push out the belt, oh, you cut the crust wrong. I mean, nobody's going to learn from that.
And with that, I feel a little lightheaded. I might have to go lay down for a little
I'm
bit.
probably going to get ready to leave here soon.
No worries. Sorry, because
it's almost 9 o'clock. I still have a bra
I'm getting
on.
wasted.
This is an amazing day for me.
It's 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. here, and in 12 hours I'm going to start the next stream about the case I'm covering, which more or less nobody else covers because it's about...
Yeah, I was going to cover that, but I've heard it's fairly deep, and I'm trying to get into the Karen Reed case, and oh my God, that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, and my case is involving... This case, it is Iowa versus what's his face? And it involves a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's the other thing that stopped it. I was like, and another kid, and I can't.
And here's the thing, I believe I can emotionally detach myself enough to just see the evidence, and
it's harder to do than you might think, though.
Yeah, it's really hard because it's a child. But here's the thing: no matter the victim, the accused needs due process.
Even Bradley Young.
Because if that person doesn't deserve it, then nobody does.
Bradley Young needs a class action case against him from pen companies. Holy crap, I cannot see a pen demonstration now without being traumatized.
I don't know who that is. It's been lovely. Thank you so much for having me, Nicholas. I'm going to bed, and it's been...
Thank you all for showing up. Thank you all who's
Audra, I do
here.
not have a Discord. I can barely work YouTube. Even sober. But I do have a YouTube somewhere around here. I'm sure a Discord or a mod will put it in somewhere. But thank you for asking. That is awesome of you.
Go subscribe.
And-
Go subscribe. Go subscribe.
Thank you.
Tomorrow is Yodi Day,
Yay.
and tomorrow is also Aya versus Henry
Oh, you're
Dinkle.
doing
What's
that
his
tomorrow?
face? Yeah.
Oh
So
Lord,
I will be. So I will be doing.
Discord. I don't even know how to do TikTok.
I-
Or
I
was
got
it
you.
X?
I got you covered there, Mo.
Yeah.
We'll talk. I'll get you covered.
Yeah. So
Okay,
tomorrow
thank
I
you,
will be
'cause I'm
doing
confused.
that trial up until
But I'm also
Yodi,
not
then 90 minutes, 2 hours of Yodi, then continue because I need to catch up with the trial. And then Sunday
Isn't
is
she
a
like on
serial
day
killer Sunday.
2 of 27? Like on.
No.
No, she's on the stand.
I know, isn't she on day like 2 of 37 on the stand?
Oh, yeah.
We are currently doing day 2. I think she's on the stand 18 days, but there's also that includes direct, cross, redirect, recross, and then I've heard the number of over 100 jury questions.
Oh my God, angry Mexican Henry Winkler. I can't.
Oh, God. No, he's
Yeah.
like Dr. Fauci.
Mexican angry Henry Winkler, Dr.
Yeah.
Fauci. I can't.
Yeah.
That
But
sounds.
subscribe to everybody. I'm going to keep
Sounds
drinking, and
awful.
I'm sending you over to Ian
No,
Runkle.
I can't keep
Please
drinking.
tell him that
This is a
it is
terrible
a
idea.
Viking raid, and so he can send people back to subscribe
Yes,
to me.
I'm going to go to bed now.
Yeah.
That's a
And I'm
good
going
idea.
to keep drinking because I still have beer.
Oh yes, you should always drink. I am going to go to sleep because that's a good
Yeah.
idea. But I think
Me
I
too.
got
Yeah.
a puppy, which is awesome. But sober me
Yeah.
should probably
Yeah,
talk about
puppy.
this with drunk
Mm.
me.
Yeah. And
Good
since
night,
this is-
everyone.
yeah.
Bye.
Since this is a
Bye.
casual stream,
He's not an idiot. He's just Swedish.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
My school principal.
all right, I'm going to
She's
end
such a
this and send you
bitch.
all off.
I
Thank
hate
you all
that
for
cunt.
showing up.
I mean, I love
Thank
her.
you. Thank you
I'm
for
so
the
sorry.
super chats. Thank you for the gifting of memberships.
I mean,
And,
she's not a cunt.
what? I hadn't ended it yet.
You're
Sorry.
Oh my God, I love you.
We're
both.
3 hours. We're fine.
And with Mo saying the C word, bye bye.